Hey, hey, hey. So, how is everybody doing? Um, so, been a busy week. I don't know if it's just been me or maybe it's just the heat, and so therefore I've been busy. But this week seemed to go by super quick. Um, so yeah, I think this heat wave's over with for now. So
Oh, it's
Thank
coming
God.
back. I was just checking.
it'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's like I don't know 70, 74, 75 today or something. I mean, which
Yeah.
is
It was
It's
nice
crazy.
today.
15 degrees cooler than it's been.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah,
guys have NICEAG or NIMO?
NIMO.
I
I'm on
got
Well, I got NIMO. What do you
so
got, Jason?
NICEAG.
NICEAG. Okay.
I got a fucking text from NICEAG this week. I've never gotten one of these texts before. It was a high usage alert, telling me that my average daily kilowatt hour per day is 69.
Yeah.
But for 6:30 through 7:2, it was 104, 117, and 117.
Wow.
Can't wait to see that freaking bill.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
not have an air conditioner. So
Well,
that is not going to be a problem for me.
so
I just suffer in this heat.
I have like 4,000 square feet here.
Yeah.
I have an AC downstairs, which was running, but it wasn't. I can keep that on low, and it keeps it pretty cool down here as long as I don't let it heat up. But upstairs was really hot, and we had my in-laws staying with us for a week, and my kids both had their air conditioners running. We had one in the kitchen. We had our bedroom one. Yeah, it was just running nonstop because it was so hot here.
Edgelord's right about Dan being right about Edgelord's being right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
I
adding
get
to
that out
that.
of my system right now. So
So,
yeah, it's 100 degrees. You need to have the air conditioner on.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm in no way saying you shouldn't. I just don't have an air conditioner in my house, so it sucks real bad. When it gets
Properly
100
set at
degrees.
78 degrees too, right?
That commie can kiss my ass.
All right.
Well-
all right. All right. All right.
I think Roger's going to come and install some AC for you.
Yeah, no.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. As soon as he's ready to sell the house, we're gonna install the AC as an incentive.
Nice.
That's when we'll install AC in Jason's house when he's
Yeah.
when it's gonna be a perk to sell it.
You know, it is miserable, but it lasts like a week. You know,
Yeah. Right.
I'm all right. So,
Right. In New York, like I'm
Well-
I'm miserable without it. So
I'm going to ask
You
you
know.
again come September 1st how that week went.
Oh, it will be miserable, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, when I was working construction, I would come home and no AC, and I would just turn the fan on. I've got a box fan next to me. I would turn it. I would just lay on the floor wanting to die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is miserable, no doubt. But, you get through it. It's all right.
Yeah.
I just like having heat in the winter. I keep my house at 65. It's wonderful. Roger and I did install my gas furnace last autumn, ran like a champ, and cost about 1/3 of what my old furnace was costing me. So
nice.
I have
Yeah.
no complaints.
Yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
good work.
Yeah. So mostly me.
It was
So
mostly you.
I
Yes,
got.
I know that was meant to be a
No,
slight.
it's fine.
No, it
I'm
was
just-
mostly you.
I'm just
Yeah.
messing around. No. You were a great help. No, I mean it was good. We did.
Yeah, I did most
we
of
did
the
really
pipe
good
fitting,
work
but
together.
you did the install. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I
it
would
was
do it myself.
it went really well. I mean everything lined up really, pretty good considering from what we were going to what we ended up with. I mean,
In
everything-
like 2 days
know.
after we installed it, snow fell, and I was like, whew.
yeah. So, but no, so that was good. That was good. But yeah, we could chat about that more later. I get questions on
Sure.
that too, but about the tank and stuff. But
Yeah.
whatever about that. these people don't need to know about that.
Sure.
They probably don't want it. Well, who knows? Some of them might. But so I got a couple of things I wanted to cover before we get started. First, I got this wonderful logo here that hopefully is working. Look at this. Look at that.
Awesome.
So Emperor's Choice, yep, they're sponsoring us. So the logo you're not going to be able to click. Now, I don't know. Let's see if I set this up right and I go like this in the chat, then the thing should post the thing. I don't know whether that's going to work or not, but hey, look at that. It worked. Holy shit. All right. So anyway, There's not a space there, but you know what? It works. That's a small victory. Anyway, so Emperor's Choice, they're going to be sending us some stuff to give away. I told them not too much.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't.
You know, so but we'll have some stuff. They're going to be announcing. Well, they've kind of already announced it, but they've got the new box set, the Harbinger box set that they made. It's got some pretty sweet art on the cover, and they're going to be sending out stuff from the Kickstarter. I think it's like 100 or 90 normally, and right now it's discounted down to like 60. And then whoever backed the Kickstarter is going to get like a coupon code or a special link to purchase it for even less. So it's going to be awesome, I think. So it's going to be really cool. So now,
So tonight's
now I don't know
show
how to
features
disappear that.
Roger,
There we
me,
go.
and
Okay.
the Unchosen.
There we go.
Okay, there
Sorry.
we go.
Okay, got it. I couldn't figure out how to get back to the thing. I'm still new at this. I'm still figuring this stuff out. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know. There's I know that wargaming and stuff is a different thing, and we talk about a lot of RPG stuff. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Judd Vance. He's a war gamer, not really like a prominent war gamer like historically or anything like that, but he got pancreatic cancer a few years ago, and he was doing bonding with board games. So this guy, the Chief Bart, who runs this YouTube channel called Bonding with Board Games, and they would do it would be him, Judd, and this guy Greg, and they would do what they called ham tag, half as much, twice as good. It was the top 5 board games and like war games and things like that. And so I used to watch it on and off. And now Judd never really played RPGs. There was like one Vietnam, I think, RPG that he liked, but he was really into the board games and stuff. But so I would follow some of his stuff. But he some stuff that kind of hit me a little bit was June 29th. So about a week ago, he posted a thing onto Board Game Geek. He's been getting worse. Like they tried to like cure him. They couldn't. He went to surgery. They removed stuff, and he had problems. So his time was limited. But he made this post on Board Game Geek that says it's entitled "Games I Wish I Had Got to Play More," and he listed a bunch of games and talked about them and stuff. Just a bunch of games that he wanted to have played more of. And 3 days later, he died.
Oh.
So on the 2nd or the 3rd, I believe, I think it was July 2nd, he died. And, I never met the guy. I never really interacted with him. I mean, I've said some things in the chat on like the live stream or whatever, things like that, but I don't think anything ever got recognized on the screen or whatever. Maybe a couple times, you know what I mean? But not, so I never really knew him. He was never a friend, and I, not that I watched a lot of the show or whatever, but it really kind of hit me hard where he made this post that's games I wish I got to play more. Like the guy basically wrote a list of games out of, hey, like I'm not going to get to play these anymore because I'm going to die, type of, basically. I hate to be blunt about it, but that's basically what it is, and I know that I joke a lot about it, because that's how I deal with stuff, but like, I mean, you guys see my shelf behind me and stuff, and we joke all the time. Like there's not enough hours in the day. There's not enough time. There's not enough game, there's too many games, not enough hours, not enough people, and all of that. And so I don't know, that just kind of hit me there, and so I can post a link here. This is a link to his the Board Game Geek article there, and if you search his name, Judd Vance, you'll find a bunch of stuff out there. If you click on his name, you'll see his games and his other posts, or search up Bonding with Board Games on YouTube, and you can watch his some of the videos and stuff that he was in. Just the reason I'm bringing this up is because that sort of thing has always been kind of like in the back of my mind, like I said, I've joked about it, like saying, hey, like, I got to stop buying games because I've only got so many years left, and, looking at this, it's, it's just, I don't know. It just really kind of opened my eyes to that. And I've been thinking about things like that more and more since my father passed, last year. And it's just been, thinking about it. And then this happens and it gets me just thinking some more about it. But that's all. I just wanted to bring that up. And, so get out there, play games, like don't let the time go, like, and just get out there, play games. Don't worry about the stupid bullshit that's out there, the dumb feuds and all that stuff. Just get out and play games and have fun and, and do it, so yeah, play his list. My, like, that's a great idea to like play his list, but I think I don't want to sound like callous about it. Right. But I think that Judd wouldn't want people to play his list. I think that
play their list.
Yeah, he would want people to play their list, like play the list of games that you want and all of that. But he was a big fan of Command and Colors. Ancients, I believe, was his favorite one. I know he liked the whole line. So that's definitely a game I want to check out, for him. And he's got a ton of lists on Board Game Geek and all that stuff. It's a lot of GMT titles. He loved the GMT kind of games and stuff with all the little chits and all that stuff. So, Edgelord, that's a good idea. Maybe we should do something and, play a game that you liked at CNY.
See, I agree with what Todd said there. It's the same with me. Like, we talk about all these different games all the time that we could be playing. A lot of times, especially like with my group, it's hit, it's hit and miss. Everybody's got different views. You bring up a game and this guy wants it, this guy doesn't.
Sure.
I care less about the fact of us switching up and trying new games every week than just having a consistent group that wants to get together, play, and have fun.
Yeah.
Because that's really all it's about. It doesn't matter what we're playing as long as we're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really see it, but this room, like those shelves with the terrain, half of that stuff came off those shelves to go to CNY. It's not on those shelves.
Yeah.
And I'm already looking at, I'm going to start going through this stuff and really, really paring down my collection. I know
I've been thinking about doing that too.
It's like heresy
Yeah.
in this chat with the people watching it. I know, but I look at it, I agree very much, with the sentiment of get out there and play the games, while you can. But I also look at it like, for me, I know this isn't everybody. A lot of people, like, their hobby is gaming and that's it. Right.
Yeah.
I have like 3 or 4 hobbies that they're all pretty time consuming and pretty money intensive. And sometimes I'll go years in between, take breaks from them and get back to it and whatnot. But I'm getting in that phase now where this summer I've been like, hey, I got both of my kids home again. They're not in high school anymore. They're both, college bound, but staying from home. So they're around all the time. So we've been doing stuff, my son wants to get back into the arcade stuff and, just getting little things. But I agree with the sentiment, you never know. I mean, I had, not that this is, I hadn't seen my uncle in 20 years, but one of my uncles passed away last week. And, I was thinking about it, and my aunt came up for my son's graduation party. And, he's in his 80s, and he had all kinds of health things. So, even she said it was a bittersweet blessing. He had suffered. He'd been in and out of the hospital the last few years, and lots of different health problems that caught up to him. And, between all that stuff, I don't know. You see it, and a lot of of course, he was in his 80s. I'm not in my 80s, but, you talk to some of these people, they got family members that are in their 60s or pushing 70. It's not that far off from us. I mean, none of us are pushing 70, but 20 years isn't that far.
Yeah, right. No, it's not. It's not that
can
far
creep
at all.
up on you fast. So
I had that very conversation. I had a couple of doctor's appointments today. No big deal, just annual checkup stuff. I try and put my all in one day because it's an hour to Syracuse for me. On the way home, I was like, I have like 20 years left if I'm lucky, 30 if I'm really lucky, but I think 20 is probably my limit. And I'm not like, oh, boo hoo, because I've had a pretty badass life. I've done a lot of cool things, but man, there are so many more things that I want to get done. And I was thinking about this last week. In fact, I think I told Roger about it. I was mowing my lawn and I was going over numbers. I have like 3,000 hours in Skyrim. Every Assassin's Creed game out there has at least 500 hours, with the exception of Shadows. That's thousands and thousands of hours that I've invested in something that does nothing for me. And I was like, I need to find a new hobby. I wanted to learn how to be a blacksmith, so I did. I wanted to learn how to be a carpenter, so I did. I went and bought a table loom. I'm going to learn weaving. I'm happy to be the bard, the jack of all trades. I will never be a master smith or a carpenter or a weaver, but no one can say I didn't do them. So
Yep.
that's where I'm at with that. Yeah, same sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Edgelord, I just wanted to respond to Edgelord. I've been meaning to get a hold of you. It's just been a very busy week. My son graduated, and then this past weekend was his graduation party. It's just been very busy. I had family. My in-laws stayed with me for over a week. That's always a fun time in the middle of 100-degree temperatures, and so things are finally chilling out. I got some this week. I'm like scrambling every day, running around doing something, but I'll finally get caught up and have the time to do things, and I will get in touch with you.
Yeah, Edgelord, he also mentioned he wants to do Twilight Imperium 4 one day. Yeah, I played that once. It was it's definitely a game that you got to make an event out of. You got to have you got to send out like the hour-long how to play videos to the players, and like
So that's never going to happen with our group.
you have to do it, because you cannot explain like all the rules for the game at the table. Like, it would take forever. The game that we played, everybody watched the hour-long video, and then like a week before, like the guy who was running it like said, hey, watch the video again, or like anything. And then he had like cheat sheets, and we got to his house. He had the board was all set up, all the things, everything was laid out, ready to go. And we had, I think he originally wanted to do like 8 people. I think there ended up being 6 or 7 of us. And the game was like, I don't know, probably 8 hours. I mean, we were at his house for like a total of 10 hours. And the game took like 8 of that.
Wow, that's wild.
So it's just crazy. And it's just a big 4X space, game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're exploring and conquering and, economic stuff. And there's a whole bunch of different things to do and different victory paths. And it's just, yeah, it's big. And it takes forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy. Yeah, expand your mind 1 a month. Try a game from a combined list, a shared list. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Try a new game, off somebody's list or whatever. And then Dan, yeah, my plan for the fall is do a bit of culling the collection, which is definitely something that I need to do more of. So we'll see how it goes. But
this has nothing to do with tonight's topic, but you say you need to cull some of your collection. Why? You have room for what you have. There's, you're not in danger of bursting into flames.
I don't know. I feel like personally, like that I have to, I feel that I want to start to like downsize. Not not that I want to live in like a smaller house or like have a smaller area and stuff. I just like, I don't know. And maybe it's because of the stuff that's happened recently or whatever, but like, I look at like all this stuff and like, I know I'm never going to get to it. And I feel that I should put the collection down to like a manageable level where I can look at it and say, hey, this is possible, because like, why, like if I've only got 40 years left, why would I keep games that like, and my collection would take me 80 years to play?
Sure.
Like, why do I own all of it? I guess. you know, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad way of looking at it. You know,
No,
I,
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't think it is either. I think it's understandable. I think
everything's a
I
resource.
think maybe
yeah.
that leads you on a path that you don't really need to go on. You know, I mean, just because you're never going to play them doesn't mean get rid of them unless your intent is to give them to someone that, or not. I don't mean give, but to they go to someone that is going to play them.
Yeah.
But I and we've talked about this sort of thing before. I'm over here looking at mine. Okay, what would I want to get rid of? I mean, there's a couple of titles that I'd be like, whatever, get rid of them. But most of this stuff, even if I just flip through them every other month or so, I'm still like, oh, this is really good writing. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with mine.
I'll give you my perspective because I'm the same way, and I want to get rid of a lot of this stuff. And it's not that I don't love having all these books and didn't enjoy collecting them, but I look at this stuff and I'm like, 2 shelves of 5e stuff and the OAR books and all that stuff, and I'm like, I'll never play 5e again.
Right.
It's sitting there taking up space, and then I look at the Fantasy Flight game Star Wars. I'm not going to play that again. My group, it just wasn't really a hit. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't, but it was kind of like hit and miss for me. It was like okay, but it was nothing stellar. Castles and Crusades.
Yeah.
What I will never run that again, because if I want to run something like that, I'm just going to turn over to my AD&D stuff and run it.
Right.
Right. It's funny. Those 3 examples are exactly what I called for my collection.
Right.
It's
right.
interesting. Like CNC, I might run CNC again, but I'm considering getting rid of everything I have except for the 3 core books.
I've already. I will do that when my campaign's done.
Well, so
like
I'll just keep
if
the
I
3
run
core
it
books
again,
to
I
have,
feel
but-
that I would just use the core books.
So it's funny
Yep,
because
absolutely.
when I get rid of my collection, like I even looked at 5e and I'm like, well, I might keep the 3 core books from the 2014 just for nostalgia's sake or whatever, because we
I
did
do
have
that
fun
too.
playing
Yeah.
it for a while. And CNC, I have so many books. Yeah, I'll keep a player's handbook, a Castle Keeper's Guide, and
So that's interesting though. For like 5e, like I've got the 3 core books for the same reason, right? But like I'm thinking, like, you know what? I'm never gonna run that game.
probably
I'm never gonna run it. So why do I need the monster manual and the GM's guide?
you don't.
Like I
You
should
don't.
just keep the player's handbook and get rid of the other 2, right? Like
Yeah.
because I'm never gonna run it. There's a ton of other things,
And this one,
So-
this one might catch you a little bit too, because you know how much I love my 2e stuff. I've got 2 whole bookshelves full of it.
Yeah.
And I told myself the other day I could literally sell off all of it except for 1 shelf, and I could really sell off all of it except for my 3 core books. If I just kept my monster manuals, my DM's guide, and my player's handbook, I could still have enough to play with for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Do I like having all my Forgotten Realms stuff? Sure. I'd probably go through it and start picking certain things. That one would be a tough one to call, just because I have such a history with it. But I don't know. So the way I look at it, I talk about all these hobbies, but for me, it's always been fun money. I've sold arcade machines to buy game books. I've sold books to buy this. I've sold things to buy my metal detector. So for me, if I sell them, that money is just going to go into my fun fund, and it will do something else. I get in this. I'll be like, screw it. I want to go buy a telescope, and I want to get out every night and check it out. And it might only last me for a summer, but so what? I sold a bunch of books. I bought a telescope. I had fun with it. It's something different. It's, I enjoy doing stuff like that and getting into it. And so I just pass my money around between different hobbies. I'm not going to sell it all and put it in, sit it in the bank account and pay bills with it. Screw that.
Well, like Zagiag says, dragon doesn't get rid of his hoard, Cypher, see, with Cypher, my issue is this. I don't like the Cypher system, but I think the books are really, really great for reference and the settings and all that stuff. I think they did a fantastic job with all that stuff. And so, like to Baron Karza's point here, like games can be a reference, not just things to play.
Mhm.
Like, so, there's a lot of the Cypher books that I keep just because, man, I think the settings are awesome. I mean, Numenera is a great example of that. I think everybody can agree that that's a great setting.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's badass.
And so,
I just think
so
the system's terrible.
You're right. And I feel that way with like a lot of their books, you know. And so I don't know. It's hard, you know. And then, you know, Matt says, yeah, are you going to read them? Yeah. Do you like having them? Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some books that I like having, you know, that I'll probably never read or never play or whatever, but I like having them on the shelf,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah. As far as the culling goes, I think anyone that decides, okay, it's time to let stuff go, I think you should be in the proper mindset. Make sure you're not unhappy or
Yeah.
feeling down, or because you're going to start getting rid of stuff. I don't need this.
Yeah.
So because I do go through big culling spurts, I put on music that I really like, usually something like Tool or something like that's going to get me, keep me motivated. And I make sure that I'm in a good mood, because that way, if I pick something up and I'm like, I don't really need this, I know that it's not just because, whatever. So that's when I got rid of most of my 3.5 stuff, I did that. And it made me really think about what I was getting rid of. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I don't need this. Off you go.
We tried doing like we did a swap time during the movie meet and greet, and I think some people brought in some stuff and traded some things for CNY. So I got no problem with people doing that or setting aside time for people to bring in, doing some swap stuff. Dan, Dan you're right as usual. No, that is
right about me.
That is really good advice, though. That is really good advice to not do it because I can definitely see myself getting into a mindset where I'm like, fuck all this, I'm done, and then like 2 days later, you're like, what have I done?
Yes.
And then you spend twice as much to get it all back or whatever.
Yep.
So I like that where you say, put on some good music and make sure you're in that good kind of state of mind, So yeah, it's interesting. Chubby's unable to listen right now. I can confirm Roger survived his first session of Saturday Night Gods of the Forbidden North thing. That's true. That's true. All of that's true. All of that's true. Spoilers. We're talking about that Saturday.
So it's funny you mentioned Gods of the Forbidden North, and I had every intention after the Kickstarter.
Yes, you can, Edgelord.
After the Kickstarter launched or after the Kickstarter fulfilled, and everybody got their slipcases, I had asked and got a response back that yes, there would be copies of the premium slipcase set.
Yeah.
And the day they went for sale on the site, which was last week, I decided not to buy them because I looked at them and I'm like, first of all, it's $300 for this slipcase for one adventure. And albeit everybody says it's a great adventure, will I ever run it? I mean, how many people, I know there's lots of people that'll puff their chest up and say they do it all the time, but how many people really take those giant 1,000-page adventures and see them to completion?
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Very small percentage of groups. Right. It's great. It's great in theory, but you better have the right group that has the right mindset that's willing to put years into it and do it.
Yeah. We've talked about that before. I don't like them. They had, like Roger takes like 5 pages from a dungeon and we'll use that. That's great. I have no desire to sit there and work my way through Greg Gillespie's Barrel Maze from cover to cover. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you could take Barrow Maze and go to the beginning of it and take all the little starting barrows and disperse them throughout your land. And
absolutely.
Maybe take a level or just some of the rooms and make it into a self-contained barrow that you place somewhere. And you can use it.
I have definitely done that.
Yeah, and to me
that's that book.
That's the way I do it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Gods of the Forbidden North looks phenomenal. It's just, do I want to spend $300 on an adventure? Probably not. So I decided to. I guess it goes back to what Jason said: get in the right mood. I'm kind of in the same. I better be in the right mood when I want to spend that kind of money. I got to rethink it. And
Matt says with culling, like take the stuff, put it in a box for a week or two, and then before you sell it and see if you miss it. That's definitely good. No, I don't know. Like, Gods of the Forbidden North. I had Matt pick me up a set because he backed it, so I had him add a set.
Yep.
I really like it. I've looked through it. I really like it. I would like to run it someday. But you're right, like Mike. Like that's probably a 3-year campaign.
Yeah.
It just by looking at it, and
And I'll be honest, we're all notoriously, like, I don't want to say anti PDF, but PDFs are not our choice of format.
Yeah.
But for an adventure like that, if I ever wanted to pick pieces of it out, PDFs are probably the way to go, rather than spending $100 a volume.
You print out 5 pages at a time or whatever, and run that section. Absolutely, I do that all the time with stuff that I have.
Yep.
Still, like I've done that with Barrow Maze and all. Like, I mean, I have a physical copy of Barrow Maze, but I'll print stuff out off of the just, I need this map and I need this stuff here, and that's it. So
I like Matt's idea about putting it in a box to see if you miss it, but it seems like that would be a little wasted on me. I have bookshelves of books that I haven't looked at in forever. I see them when I walk by them to sit in the chair to get on stream, or when I sit down.
Well, I think once you start touching them and like flipping through them, and then you kind of decide to put it back on the shelf or put it in the box, and then if you don't go in the box for a couple weeks, then you just say, okay, sell it, I don't know. It's interesting. So, anyway, that's not the topic for today. We covered that a few weeks ago. So go back and watch that video, and then come back here and tell us we're wrong. Well, don't watch it now.
It
watch
was a good
later.
episode.
It was a great episode. It's a great episode.
What was our topic today?
Perfect
number of weapons.
The perfect number of weapons.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Castles and Crusades. Just throw that one out, because that is not the perfect number of weapons.
So what have you guys been doing the past? Will you guys get anything cool in?
Yeah.
I got some cool stuff. So I know Jason and I both convinced Stan to go to his friendly local game store. And Dan also did this too. I don't know. I don't know how many more people got you to go in there. So I don't know if you went into Crossroads and it was like, I need 8 of these and 4 of these.
There was 4 of you. There was 4 of you that I
Much
acquired things
appreciated.
for.
Much appreciated.
So so Dan got some stuff too. Yeah. So I got the Age of Vikings quick start. That was on my list. I got the Pirate Borg Adventure, Terror and Tortuga.
I
That's
didn't
pretty
even
cool.
know this existed.
And the Vaesen.
What, the
thing.
free RPG Day stuff?
Got that one. Yeah.
I couldn't go. It was my son's graduation Saturday morning.
Did they? Oh, they did it at Play the Game, right?
They do it at Play
Probably.
the Game.
Yeah.
They don't do it at the Destiny store. They do it at the Clinton
Right
Street
downtown.
store.
Yeah.
But I knew for a fact the one what was it? The one thing that I wanted. I forgot what it was. There was something there I really wanted, and I knew it was going to be gone. And we had graduation and then people coming over and everything else. So I wouldn't have been able to get out there till 2-3 in the afternoon, and everything good would have been gone.
Yeah.
So I missed it this year.
So how'd you make out with that, Jason? What'd you get from the?
I got the
RPG
Vaesen and Dolanwood. I didn't even know there was a Pirate Borg one, or
Yeah.
I would have wanted to get that as well.
Dolmenwood's the one I was going to grab.
Well, I will give you mine if you don't.
No. It's not a big deal. It was just
So,
I figured if
don't you have the Dolanwood box set?
I do, I haven't even opened it
See,
because
I don't.
because I don't know that it's going to stay.
Oh well, let me know. But
Yeah.
either way,
Yeah, it's still in shrink. It's since I got it because I just I don't know.
yeah.
But I figured for a quick start adventure, it might be a good way to just try it out with my guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Did you get the other adventures with it, Mike?
the
The smaller like books?
these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
those
got
are
these.
those are pretty good. Yeah. For
Yeah.
for
Well, I
starter
mean,
adventures, too.
Winter's Daughter's been around a long time.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
has been actually it's been the intro has been redone because the original intro
It's different
was,
from the OSE one that they did.
no. So the OSC it was redone in OSC, but the original
Oh.
OSC one, I guess the intro was pretty violent, and they changed.
People
the
didn't like
intro
that?
out. I don't know. It was a little
Yeah.
over the top. Yeah, I mean, I even got the dice bag and.
I like that dice bag.
Yeah. The dice
Yeah.
bag was really cool. The dice bag and the dice. My daughter is really into. Okay, I almost said my daughter's really into mushrooms. which is true, but not like that.
Give
I
it
hope
time.
The mind bending
I hope
one.
not. Anyway, I don't know.
It's
Probably gonna
Utica.
be- Yeah, I know. Right. So no, she's got like like the mushroom like earrings and like she likes all that kind of stuff. Mitochondria or whatever. I forget.
Myconids.
Myconoid.
Myconids. There you go. Myconids and stuff like that. So she's into that. But so the dice bag has all like the mushrooms on it and stuff, and then all the dice have like different, and it's not the same. It's a small thing, right? But all the dice, like on the highest number, it's not like the same mushroom on each die. It's like a different mushroom
they're different.
on each die, so they're different. So it's kind of cool. So she got that. She took that set in the dice bag. I mean, I gave it to her, but I figured she'd like it, and she does. So, yeah. Well, sometimes you just can't control them.
Polite.
So, Stan, what did you get from Free RPG Day?
So free RPG Day, I got. I haven't had time to dive into it, but I got this. So it's I think it's by the folks who did Zombicide, so they kind of basically came up with their own RPG. So I grabbed that, and
Let me know how that is. I'm curious.
Between the funky font and reversed, I can't read that. What did it say?
It's called Plague Bearer, the role-playing game.
Oh, Plague Bearer. That font, it's really hard to tell what it is in reverse.
There.
I bet.
I
Yeah.
flipped you. I flipped you, Stan. Hold it up again. Can you read it now?
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
now you can read it.
All right, I got that. I got a bunch of stuff this week, actually.
That's like a
I
thing.
picked
Have
up
you
a
guys
copy
seen
of
those
this.
shirts? Those shirts that they make, and it's made out of like they like put the logo and the lettering, and they almost looks like bolts of lightning, like really close together. And it's like they do it with like different logos, and you just can't read it at all. And it's like a thing that they do. Have you guys know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Don't
All right,
worry,
never
Stan.
mind.
What you were talking about wasn't important.
Never mind. Keep going, Stan. Sorry.
Got the Dolmenwood one.
Yep.
I have
Yep.
Dolmenwood. I got the Vason one because I love Vason. Great game. I got this one, the Crooked Moon, which is a 5e thing. But the really cool thing about this one is it has like a fully fleshed out haunted house in it. Like they have maps of each level.
Cool.
And so like this is a level map here. And then you get
Nice.
it actually looks like a pretty cool product. It's not made by Wizards of the Coast, so it's probably really good. And this is like of the house itself. So that's pretty cool. I like creepy stuff. So as far as like role playing games go, so I got that. Then hold on while I throw my back out. I got this thing. Damn. I'm not
Wow.
joking, this thing's heavy.
Dungeon Dwellers.
It's like-
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 4 hardcover books in this, plus a GM screen and tokens because it has a fortune system, basically kind of like a luck system. And then this came with it as well. This was full of 30 plus miniatures.
Wow.
Wow.
All part of their Dungeon Dweller line. I actually have a few more over there because I got extras for some things, which they did their extras actually pretty cool. Like this is a good example. There's a blister pack of fire beetles, and you get 2. But when you bought the extra package, it's actually packaged with 6. So you definitely get extras, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
That'll give me plenty
Cool
of stuff. Oh, I got the Pirate Borg thing too, but that's in my starter box for Pirate Borg, wherever the hell that is.
Very
Stuff
cool.
that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Nice. So Mike, no free RPG day. Did
No
you
free
get
RPG
anything,
day. I think these came after. I wasn't on last week. I think they came after our show 2 weeks ago. So
I don't.
I don't know if I showed you these or not. These arrived. I'm still waiting for my Dark Space book because those are shipping separately for some reason. So
Did you ordered them after the Kickstarter?
I ordered these from the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
With the Dark Space book as an add-on.
Really? And you didn't?
I have not
Did it?
gotten
Yeah.
it. Nope.
Wow. Because I got mine in the core book. Like,
Well, I'll have to
a
go
while
look at.
ago.
I have
Wow.
to go look at my thing and reach out to them.
yeah.
And then I got this. I don't know. This was another one of the Shadow Dark
Oh!
Scene.
Yeah, I showed that. Did you get the tokens and stuff too? The wooden
No,
tokens?
that's all I got was the
Just
two
the book.
books.
Okay.
So I don't even know what they are. I know this one's a 0 level gauntlet. The other one says Darkness Dweller's Handbook, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's like a cult, not a cult, but like a organization thing that the players can join. There's like an initiation thing and stuff for them, and it gives it like it's a secret organization that they can do.
You know, it's unfortunate because I'm without running a game right now and not trying to get in any games.
Yeah,
I'm just like, this showed up and it immediately went on the shelf. You know, that's
Yeah.
I pulled
Yeah.
it back out tonight
Yeah.
just to, so I had something. Savage, awesome. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
yeah, cool. Can't wait. Send pictures to Mike so he can show them off on stream.
Yeah.
Stan, you got an offer on your Dungeon Dwellers.
I saw that. Yeah, no, I didn't get to the point where I want to sell it yet.
So
Been reading the setting book. It's really good.
what so what
Savage,
you get
Savage, there's mine.
Oh, cool. Hang on, Mike. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's all right.
Yes.
It's not stand level painting, but
I
No,
mean,
it's good.
all right.
good enough
You
for my
guys
kid.
know me. I would print it in red and call it a day.
I know you would. I know.
Yeah, true.
Constant disappointment.
You are a constant disappointment.
Listen. I print that tower. I used it a little bit, and then I put it on the in the raffle. Stan gets it. I was so confused because I saw him take the plain gray tower, use black primer on it, and then painted it gray.
You used black primer on it, and then what? You probably dry brushed it gray.
No, he did a fantastic job. It looks
didn't-
gorgeous.
I know you didn't solid paint it gray on top.
No,
of
no, he didn't. I'm just messing around.
I actually did one more than I usually. Like I started picking out some individual bricks, and a lot of times, like I don't mess with that too much. I have on some stuff,
Yeah.
but a lot of it I just do different shades. But that one I picked out some details. It painted really nice.
So
In
what,
fast.
what,
Like, I
what's
painted in a
this,
day.
Roger? What's the thinking here? Is
Oh,
this
those
the-
I did all
is-
different colors.
Is this the ghost tower? The little fluorescent green?
I did all different colors. I did all different colors of them. It was just a neat little thing that I found, and I thought it was cool to clip on a
You should have
little
painted
dice
them.
tray. I should have, yeah.
Yeah.
This is So Chthonic Musings reminded me. This is what I'm talking about. That
Oh,
that
yeah.
text.
Badass.
I've seen that on like a ton of T-shirts for like different things, and you could barely read it.
Yeah, but that's just Hyperborea.
Well, of course, that's his Hyperborea. Anyway, I got a couple more things.
I'm never going to get to go, am I?
You're never going to get to go. Go
No.
Go ahead. I got two more
Finally.
things. What do you got?
Aside
Yeah.
from the free RPG stuff that Stan sent me, thank you very much. My wife gave me an early birthday present.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's
The
sweet.
holy grail of the green books.
where you
Map
got
is
me?
still attached, and it's in flawless. I shouldn't say flawless. When I looked at it, I was like, oh, there's bluish on the front. Every corner is completely straight. There's no banged up, no pencil marks. It's beautiful. I took it to bed last night and
Wow.
treated it nicely and read it while whispering sweet nothings to it. I
No,
was
I
so
bet.
that's
Now it's
my
got
last spring book.
stains.
Now it has stains. Why are these
Yeah,
pages stuck
stains
together?
everywhere.
Yeah. So
Now-
it was the last green book that I needed. It's the rarest of the green books because everybody wants this because
Is
it's the Greek. It's the Greek history one. So everybody loves a Greek campaign. So it's the hard one to find.
I heard Castles and Crusades has a Greek and Roman book that's just as
They
good.
do. It's inferior. I have it, and I've already had my conversation with Steve.
No,
about
I
that.
know.
So,
I know.
yes.
I know. I was there.
I finally got this. I was beside
That's
myself.
cool.
Like I know how much these things run for. So when
Yeah.
I opened it up and I saw what it was, I was like, Stephanie, are you crazy? But man,
Is
she
that the
found it.
last one?
It is the last one. Yeah.
Last ones you needed? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't
Very
have any of the
excited.
green
So-
books.
Oh, I love them. There's only a few of the blue ones that I have. I think most of the blue ones are kind of crappy, but
I think the blue
The
ones are
greens?
fantastic.
Well, some
Yeah.
some of the Castles book's amazing. The Seasoned Ships is great. Arms and Equipment Guide, super cool. The Catacombs one's good, but like the Necromancer and the
I
villains,
think I
I
have
was
the
like,
Catacomb.
yeah,
Well, so
I think I have
the,
that.
the Necromancer one is first of all, it's not meant to be a player.
right.
Yeah,
It
right.
says that in the book. It
Right, it's
clearly
just-
says this is not meant to be a PC class.
It's just meant if you as a DM wanted to add it, you could do without that one easily.
Yeah.
What was the other one you just mentioned?
Monster Mythology is pretty cool.
Monster Mythology is
Yep,
good.
that was pretty cool
one.
too.
I like the creative campaigning one.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a good GM reference.
I think they're all pretty good. They are.
Cool. Yeah.
The green ones, the only reason I never got them was I don't know. I didn't get them back in the
Wow.
day. Yeah, the villains one, it's okay, but it's a book full of different villains, so
Mhm.
it's great if you're prepping an adventure and you're doing your stuff and you want something already made. Like, hey, I want to find an evil
Yeah.
wizard or something, and you can look through there.
Like you-
but it's not
Yeah, they
necessary.
give you some types and stuff too, and
Yeah.
I should dig through these more often. That's the
But,
thing too. Like I've come to realize, we talk about circle back to like collections. Is I have like a tote the size of my dining room table that I'm sitting at that's full of like Dungeon and Dragon magazine. There is so much material in there that
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really honestly don't need to buy much of anything for gaming.
Yeah.
I have so much stuff, and it's such a like this weekend I was working on my game, and I was working on this NPC, and I'm like, oh, I need a miniature for this, and immediately I go to like the Reaper website and start looking around, and then finally I'm like, I have a miniature downstairs that I haven't painted that I could use, and I went down, pulled it off the shelf, it was already primed, and I just prepped it. I was like, I just saved myself $20. Like,
So I
Yeah,
know
I'd be better
I know
about that.
I know a lot of people crap on these books.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of them are great. That
Well,
in particular is a great book.
Well, so a lot the general consensus, and I don't agree with it, but the general consensus is the fighters and the rogue are the best, with the cleric and the wizard, which I didn't find the cleric and wizard as useful. But most people say all these extended ones are garbage. I disagree. Listen, even if you don't want kits, you don't want to play kits, that's just fine. These books have so much in them besides the kits.
Yeah.
You want
I
to play
agree.
a ranger, and it talks about the ranger's
ranger one.
abilities, right? And it'll go through with like a little more extensive stuff on how a ranger hides and how they move silently and how their tracking works, and then it goes into followers, and then you go into things like magic, and they've got some new spells in there. They've got equipment in here specific to rangers. They've got rangers and religion. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I like there were a few of the brown books I thought were useless, but I had them all at one time. I think they're really good. And that Ranger book, I love it. And who said it? Somebody talked about the Savage. Man, that Bard's book was outstanding. It was really well written.
I love the Bard book.
Mhm.
The complete Bard book,
Probably.
every single kit, and I don't think you can really call them a kit, is like a reimagining of the
Yeah.
basic Bard.
They're
So-
all useful.
Right, the Bard has 4 main abilities that they do,
Yep.
and every one of them in there has 4 different. Like it's a totally different class. I think they're pretty good. I do. I like them a lot.
How about we do an episode on supplements, and we can all talk about like our favorite supplements and
Well,
stuff. And
Here,
just
I
do
can
it,
go to the
and we
chapter
can
on
pull those.
equipment and weapons, so we can talk about weapons.
Oh yeah. If you flip to that, we'll talk about it later.
We're gonna keep it on track here.
So I got a couple things that I bought. So this, I don't know, I looked at it, I heard it was good. It's based on the Forged in the Dark system there. Forged in the Dark and Scum and Villainy and all that, but it's cyberpunk. But the reason I bought it is because it's in this nice little kind of slide case, and it opens up, and all of the adventures and all the adventures are like little kind of pamphlets, like 3-fold pamphlets that have stuff on them, and all the character sheets are all the same. They have like this kind of gloss. That's not a character sheet. They have this kind of gloss finish to them, so you can use like a dry erase marker or a wet erase marker, and you just kind of fill out like all the stuff about your character. This is all like the check boxes and stuff to kind of fill out. And I think it's kind of cool for like a one shot thing. And it's all, like they all kind of fold up into this small kind of setup.
Can we give you the unofficial nickname of Doug?
Why Doug? What's that mean?
You remind me of the from Doug from the movie Up, the dog.
Oh,
It's
squirrel.
Squirrel. You see shinies and you're like, squirrel,
Wow.
gotta have it.
Wow. So I've been compared now to 3 different characters from Up
Oh, really?
in my life. I've been compared to the kid
Okay.
by some people. I don't know why. I've never really seen the movie. And I've gotten compared to the old man. Mostly because of the suspenders and I don't know. I guess because I'm grumpy. I don't know. I don't really understand. I never saw the movie. I guess I should watch it.
Well,
I
Doug
think 3
Doug
main
is easy.
characters. Go
Doug
ahead.
is easily attracted, easily distracted.
Yeah, distracted. Yeah.
He
I mean, I
sees a
try not to
squirrel
be
and it's like,
distracted, but no, but I saw that and I thought it was really cool.
that looks cool. What you just showed looks cool. The only problem I have with stuff like that is sometimes it just feels too gimmicky. The whole
Sure.
let's put it in a slipcase and fold it open
Yeah, yeah.
and slide the stuff in, and there's times where I'm just like, give me a freaking
Well,
book to put on my shelf.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. And like one of the reasons why I did pick it up is because it's small, right?
Yeah.
And so like I could throw this into a bag with a bunch of other stuff and I could just like I think I'd pull it out of the table and we could play it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I mean, not that you couldn't do that with a book, but then everybody's kind of got their own hand out and so I don't know. It was you're right though, gimmicky. And gimmicky is really tough in the RPG world, right? Because like
It's working for Shadow Dark.
right, it is absolutely.
Not that it's a bad thing, and believe me, my
No.
players like the torch timer.
Yeah,
but it is
No, I
definitely
hear you.
definitely a gimmick. It's not needed, but it has definitely helped keep them moving.
yeah.
Once they realized there was a timer and how dangerous it got, it definitely sped the game up. So
Yeah.
I guess it does what it's supposed to.
And then I've been thinking about using like zoned combat, like the UDT thing, and I thought about building one, universal dungeon terrain. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's like the 3 circles of terrain. Stan, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 3 circles of terrain, and then like anybody in the inner circle is can melee anybody there. Anybody in the middle circle can ranged attack like anybody. So it's like abstracting like rooms and like combat locations and stuff. And I had a lot of people build them out of like foam or whatever. And I had a neoprene mat on like in my Etsy cart for like the longest time. And I ended up getting a coupon for it. It was like $18 off or something. So it was like $22, I think, or something. So it's 2 feet in diameter, and it's just got that kind of central area there, and then the 2 kind of outside edges.
That's
so in like
cool.
Shadow Dark, it's like close, near, and
Close,
far.
near, and far.
Yeah. So it's
Dragon
kind of-
Veins, I think, similar.
Yeah. But I thought it was cool, and it folds up pretty small.
He just mentioned Dragon Bane. That's been my struggle this week, is fighting off their summer sale. Because I went and looked,
yeah.
and some of those prices are great. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could buy the Dragon Bane starter set for like $30.
Except that you
that's
can't.
good.
Everything is out of stock.
Is it already? They did this last year. That was my big beef with them during
Yeah.
their Black Friday sale. I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then it went out of stock. It was in stock and allowed me to buy it, and then it went out of
Yeah.
stock, and then they kept postponing it, and then they canceled my order and refunded me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wow.
I would have rather waited because I got it at 50% off during the Black Friday sale. So I would have rather just waited for it to come in. They decided, nope, we're going to refund you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't have a stock issue when I ordered from them, but I had a shipping. Like I ordered I placed an order and then I saw another book. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't get that one. So I ordered that one. And the first order shipped with like a week. And then the second one took over a month to come. Like it was kind of wonky, but the prices are good though. If you can get them like that, $30 for that Dragonbane. I mean, Dragonbane already is the best bargain in RPGs
Well
as far
worth
as
the
like
money.
bang for your buck.
So,
Yeah.
so
But if
actually,
you can get that thing for $30, it's
actually,
like
the core set right now on their site shows $30.68.
That's
and it
awesome.
shows it in stock in the U.S., Canada, Europe, Australia,
Great.
New Zealand, and UK in the world. It's in stock everywhere. It shows.
Totally worth it.
yeah, that's a great
Totally worth
product.
The rule book is
One of
25.
my guys, Matt, picked it up. Yeah, I'd get the box set over the. I have both because I'm that way, but
Yeah.
I would definitely get the box set over the book.
The only thing about their sales, though, is they don't ever put any of the other stuff on sale. It's always the core stuff, never the expansion stuff. So
Yeah,
if you-
Dragonbane Forbidden Lands box are insane deals. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, especially when you get them on sale. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I bought the Forbidden Land set way back through Amazon. I think I paid $30 for it. That box set is beautiful. Like it's got
Yeah, it
two
sure is.
fake leather books inside that are
Yeah,
100% quality, plus
Yeah.
all the other stuff that comes with it. Like, well, that was well worth it. I haven't even played it, but it's one of those games that I'll pull off the shelf. I want to run, but I pull inspiration from it.
Was that
Yeah.
Forbidden Lands?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Portal to Adventure is good stuff too. Yeah.
$36
Yep.
for that set right now.
Yeah.
That's a good price for that.
Yeah, I was reading through the player's handbook, the player's guide, whatever they call it, just the other night. Boy, it's really well written. Great backstories.
Yeah.
Very
The
cool
art
stuff.
is awesome. The
Yeah.
maps, the whole thing is just beautiful. I keep saying I'm going to run it, but I say that about a lot of stuff. But I just don't have the time. I have the time. I just don't have the groups to run it for.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I fixed that thing with the space. So yeah, the Portal to Adventure is good stuff. I like that. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there. Yeah, that put the space in there, so it should be so it should be clickable to people that are not us. So today, right? What do we got? The perfect number of weapons in the game. So I was thinking about some stuff, and I was thinking about continuing building my game out, that I kind of go back and forth on, and I think I've decided to split it into two separate games because I'm trying to do too much with it at once. But I started thinking about weapons, and we kind of touched a little bit on like the guns and stuff like that last week. I think it was last week, the week before. And there's, for me, like I don't mind the simpler stuff for the most part, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want to have a little bit more of a choice. So I started trying to figure out like what's the best way to incorporate like different weapons into the game, and it got ridiculously complicated, to the point where I was doing like linear algebra to I know it sounds ridiculous, but so I mean, there's things where you have like in the Cypher system, right? Because we mentioned that earlier, where you've got, I think it's small, medium, large, or something like that, light, medium, heavy, something like that, right? And then like small weapons do, I think, 2 damage, medium weapons do 4 damage, and heavy weapons do 6 damage. It's something like that, right? And it's just, that's it. That's the thing. That's, so whatever it is, right? If it's small and concealable, it does 2 damage. If it's, a bigger concealable thing, or, something, it's medium and it does 4 damage. And if it's a large thing, it does 6. So whatever it is, it could be a machine gun, it could be a 2-handed sword, it could, baseball bat or whatever. Yeah, well, right, Dan. So I started thinking about, some of that. So that's obviously too simple, right? For most people, even me, right? So I started trying to figure out, you definitely have a lot of books and stuff that, and I don't remember 1E or 2E, and I think Mike's going to dig in the 2E books, but
No,
No, I don't remember, but I know there was a couple different books that I've seen that have like, I don't know, 10 or 15 different pole arms in it. And like, I don't think we need all that. So what I came up with, right, is probably the most ridiculously complicated way ever to try and figure this out. But I started thinking about weapon tags. And so, like, you know, for different things. So, for example, you would have like a damage type tag on every weapon, right? So, like, if we go with what they did in third edition, which is kind of what I like, is piercing, slashing, or blunt, right? And then you've got sizes, right? So you've got a small, medium, and large size weapons, right? So now, if you just use those two categories, you have to have, well, not that you have to, but you end up with like 9 things, right? 3 times 3. You got 3 damage types and 3 size types, right? And those are really like all you need. So you have something that's small that's piercing. So you say, okay, you got to have a dagger. Or something that's medium that's piercing is maybe a short spear, and something that's large and piercing is a long spear. And then slashing, you can have, you know, a short sword, a long sword, and a bastard sword. And blunt, you can have, you know, a club, a mace, and a maul or something, you know, 2-handed maul for large or something. And then like the more of these categories that you add in, so like if you wanted to add different types and you added in like hammer and spear and pole arm and a sword, like now you've got 3 times 3 times 4 or whatever. And some of them will be mutually exclusive. Like you're not going to have a hammer that does piercing damage. Yeah. Does it get into all that in there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Edgeler is very correct though. This is a fantastic book too.
yeah, it is. It is.
It is.
Absolutely,
I mean,
it is.
Just looking at it now,
Yeah.
I could easily tell my players in my 2E game, this is your equipment book. Don't, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Because this is really good. I mean, you look at it, and a lot of it's other equipment, but there's a whole weapon and armor section, and they go through and with descriptions on weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very similar to the 2E arms and equipment guide. I think this is a little more in depth on the lists, a little
Sure.
less in depth on the description, like the armor and equipment.
Yeah.
Which book is that you've got there?
That's basic
Basic
fantasy.
fantasy
Oh, okay.
arms and equipment.
Get on Amazon, buy it for about $5.
Yeah, it's like $5.40 or something like that, I think. Yeah,
Well
it's
worth
good
it.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool stuff. And so that's like what I was thinking about though. Like I know like some people like joke, you know, about all the pole arms and stuff. Like,
The halberds
like-
that are everywhere.
yeah, so like I get it, right? But like, do we need to have all of these listed out, or is pole arm just enough? And then you just flavor it with what it is.
I don't like the whole flavor of what it is. I mean,
Well-
then you're getting it into command. Controller games category, especially with their new thing. And here we got 8 million weapons, and they're all
We don't talk about
1d6.
that book.
I mean,
Right. But like what I'm saying is like, do we need to have a long sword, a scimitar?
well, it depends on what you want. If you don't want that, I mean, look at the list from basic D&D. They were
Sure.
very limited lists with limited damage types.
Yeah.
You know, and that was it. If that's what you want, that's fine. They play just fine. If you want more in your game, though, then don't water it down by, you know, limiting that. Allow them to play. I don't like. I mean, Castles and Crusades. I think they went overboard. They're like throw all the weapons in, and they're all the
Sure.
same thing. They don't. There's nothing different about them. You know,
Sure.
you got to make them different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like but at some point you're trading complexity for, you know, like gamification, right, of things. Like I mean, where's and I like for me, right? Like I'm trying to figure out where that line is,
All
you
right,
know,
so-
of like how many different pole arms do we like? I think I could just say pole arm 1d10 and it's 2-handed, right?
All
Does
right,
1d10
so
damage.
explain something to
call
me,
it
though.
that way.
So you're the DM, right?
Mhm.
You're the DM. If Jason says, "I want to play this pole arm here, I want to use it, and it's got a 1d10 damage, and it's got reach, and this and that,"
Mhm.
to you, what's it matter to you? You as
Oh,
a
right.
DM, as a DM, you're
Yeah.
like, whatever. That's
Sure,
that's
it
your
does
weapon.
1d10 damage.
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You don't have to do all that stuff. So allowing the players to have that choice to me
Right.
doesn't really.
No, and I'm 100% with you there. I'm 100% with you there, Mike. But what I'm saying is we don't need to waste space like listing all of them out. Like we could just put pole arm in there, 1d10, and it has reach. You know, and it's, I mean, I guess the only issue is going to be whether it's piercing damage, slashing, or blunt damage or whatever, right? Depending on the pole arm. But I mean, that you could just say, okay, pick 2.
You're making me go to the Bible here.
But that's my thing is like we don't need to list out 20 different pole arms. We just say pole arm 1d10. It can do 2 of these 3 damage types. Pick 2 when you buy it, and it's that pole arm.
I get what you're saying here, but like, so this is like what, a 255 page book, and this is all the weapons right there. Out of a 255 page book, that's all.
Right. No, and I think that's great.
Right, but you're like, do we need pages to all that?
No, I definitely don't want pages. I want 2 pages, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where Roger and I differ. And my God, we've had so many discussions on this. Exactly what Dan just said. I like the medieval simulator. I'm so far into that, it's ridiculous. And man, that is such a huge turnoff for most of the people that I meet. Roger is keep it simple, keep it sweet. Let's just get this going. You've got a blade on the end of a big stick. It does D10. Carry on. I want to carry my Lucerne hammer because it's got a blade, a hammer, and a spike on it. The same with the halberd. That's why I said the halberd's better than the bardish. I can go into all this nonsense, but nobody wants to hear it. And certainly nobody wants to hear it at the table because then it just starts to bog down. But the opposite side of that is what Roger said earlier. Are we talking about, does the game involve weapon types? Does it include blunt, pierce, and slash damage? Because if it does, then the type of polearm matters. If it doesn't, then it doesn't matter. It's a D10, it's a D10. It's got reach, end of story. And edgelord, the pike and the long spear are 2 very different weapons. The pike is 15 to 20 feet long, meant to be used from behind a shield wall. The spear is meant to be carried by 1 person. Moving on.
Well, and then there's the argument of like the great spear, right? Because we have to put like we do the great spear thing, which which is really the same thing, right? As like 15 foot.
And I think CNC calls it the boar spear in Reforged. I think they call it the boar spear.
Right.
It's a spear that does D8. So now with the spear we talk about, because I think there's 3 different spears in CNC. One's the short spear, does D6, doesn't have reach, but you can use it at close combat. The long spear or great spear or boar spear, they have reach. But also, when you start talking about reach weapons, this goes back to the simulation. If I'm using my pike that is 20 feet long in reality, there's no way in hell I can possibly use that in melee combat. That's not what it's meant for. But it's in the game.
Sure.
So, with these reach weapons, am I allowed to choke up on them? Does it require a particular proficiency? On and on and on.
Well, it's funny you mentioned like the different types of spears, and I'm looking in here, and like I can't tell you how many of my players have been like, "Oh, I carry a spear, so I could set it for a charge." No, you can't. You're carrying a medium-sized spear, or whatever. It's 5 feet long.
Spear, yeah.
But if you look at the categories at the end of the weapon list, and they have the whole like star, these inflict double damage against charging creatures or whatever, and it goes through that. When you look at the pound sign, it says this weapon inflicts double damage when firmly set to receive a charge. Those are all under the list of polearms. The all pike, the Lucerne hammer, the partisan, the ranseur. There's certain weapons made for certain things. Me personally, I like the weapon type versus armor, but you got to have players that are willing to track that and not cheat.
Yeah, right. That's I agree.
And I don't understand if you're a fighter and your main weapon is a broadsword, you know what weapon types, what armor types it's good and bad versus. It's not that hard for somebody to track, but people don't want to.
And it's interesting you bring that up, Mike, because that makes the fighter like more important or better, right? Because they're proficient with all weapons, and now it matters that the fighter can use all different weapons, because the fighter can say, oh, okay, I've got a mace, I've got a spear, I've got a sword,
Right.
And it's like, okay, what am I
Well,
fighting? Oh,
it-
guy with chainmail. I'm going with a spear or whatever. You got,
It also matters when that combat starts and those skeletons come shambling at you, and the
Yeah.
fighter's got a slashing weapon doing half damage, and the
Yeah.
rogue's got a piercer and he can't even hit him,
yeah,
and the cleric waddles up with his hammer and just starts bashing away on these things.
waddles up.
The cleric's fat,
Well,
apparently.
All your clerics are Friar Tuck.
Maybe he's a dwarf.
It's better than sashaying up, I suppose.
True.
Yeah. No, so like I said, yeah, it's just it was interesting, you know. I'm thinking about this, and like the pole arm thing, like I know, like I bring up the pole arm because that's the thing where Jason and I really have, like, I just want to say, okay, pole arm, and that's it, right?
Mhm.
But like I think he and I are kind of on the same page with like the long sword, like being, you know, whatever, like you could, it could be a scimitar, like it doesn't matter, right? It's a slashing weapon that can be used one or two-handed, right? So like a scimitar is really, like, I get that the scimitar's curved or whatever, but like we're not really dealing with rules here that make a difference of whether you're using that or a katana or a traditional, European longsword, or you know what I mean, right? I mean, like they could all just be longsword 1d8 slashing damage.
Well, I
You know.
think part of it also comes down to the DM too. If Jason
Sure.
walks up and says, "Hey, we're heading into this dungeon, and I've got my glaive on me," you're going to be like, "How are you bringing that in the dungeon? How are you not,
Right.
murdering your party as you try and swing that thing around
Sure.
or use whatever?"
I've
And-
always felt the same way about like the two-handed axe or the double-bladed axes and stuff, where you've got this barbarian and your guys are going down like a 10-foot hallway side by side, and the barbarian's swinging this
Right.
this huge axe around.
And I know you mentioned, like, you just want to call it a pole arm, but I agree with
Sure.
Jason on this. So you, like, again, I'm looking at the list, like the Lucerne hammer. Well, that is piercing and bludgeoning. You can either stab with the point or bash with the hammer. But like a glaive is slashing only. That is just a slashing weapon. But you pick up like a Bilgazarm, or however you pronounce that, it's piercing and slashing. They all have different features to them.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a big, huge weapon, but one thing in common, all of them, you don't want to be dragging them into a dungeon or in close quarters.
Well, the
They've got-
piercing, the ones that can do piercing, you
You're
can
still-
use in a dungeon.
yeah,
You're
you're-
stabbing, right? Like a spear, using it as a spear.
They're still attached to a 10-foot pole, though.
they're still
Right.
they're really not
Yeah,
meant for
right,
solo
right.
combat.
No, I
like
get
that.
it.
Right.
They're
I
meant
get
to
it.
be behind a
But I
range
mean, at
with a
least you
sword.
can,
And
like, in
that's
a
what I was
straight
saying
hallway.
about the pike. The pike. There are famous paintings and portraits of pike wielders, and it's especially, we're talking about the French Revolutionary. You had musketeers that were behind the pike wall, but then you've got 6 ranks of pikemen. So you've got the lead pike is out 15 feet. 5 feet, there's another pike. 5 feet, there's another
Yeah.
pike. 5 feet, another pike. And that was specifically to stop infantry and cavalry charges.
Yeah, from
so that
charging,
the
sure.
musketeers could get their fire going.
Yeah.
But that's a pike would never be used in a dungeon. It's absurd to have it, but it's in the book. It does D10. It's got reach, and we say okay because that's the general nature of the war games that we play.
So maybe for a D&D type game, we shouldn't have pikes or long spears or great spears or whatever you want to call them, and then have in the hirelings or henchmen section have squads or whatever of spearmen, right, that are only for outdoor stuff, that are just for that, but don't even put them as a player's weapon because they can't use them.
But I don't really like that, because I feel like if an NPC can have it, I should be able to have it. But that's up to the DM to say, look, you can go ahead and buy this pike if you want, but you're
Sure.
not even going to be able to get this thing in the dungeon. The first time you try and turn a 90-degree turn, you're not going to be able to carry this thing through there. You have to leave it behind. It's just, but now we're edging towards the simulator, and I know how much you don't like the simulator, whereas I do.
I think I lean more towards the simulator aspect of that Jason's in, because like even little things like bows, I get into this with my players all the time. Like, you know, players have this propensity to look at that list and be like, I'm going to buy the thing with the highest damage. I'm going to buy the highest damage arrows.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy.
Right.
I've got a longbow.
Right.
Great. You're carrying that in a dungeon too? Are you using that? Because a longbow is not short. It's a large
Right.
item.
Unless
It's
it's
a
a
6 foot
huge,
weapon.
right?
Yeah.
Unless it's a huge thing, area, you're not
it's-
using that
it's-
in a dungeon, right?
Right. It's meant for the range, and it's
Right.
really meant to be
It's outside.
outdoors. Yes. You know, that I liked. I do like having the variety. Like I do like the kit books that have extra stuff. Like, hey, there's a couple weapons in here that are really ranger only, and when they come up, if a player asks me to use them, I'm very restrictive about. It's a ranger item. It's not. This is not something for everybody to buy.
Right.
Yes.
You know, he got it from his mentor, or you know, something. Some fellow woodsman made it for him. It's not a common item you can go out and buy.
Yeah.
But I like. People hate Kenders, but I love the Hoopak. You know, you throw a Hoopak in there, and now you have an option that's a staff and a sling. You know, so you got your wizard that walks around with a Hoopak, and he's now got his staff as usual. But if he gets in the back of the fight, he can throw some rocks on it and start whipping it out as a sling. I know it's not sexy like firing off freaking firebolts every round, but it's the way it
At least
works.
you're doing something.
Yeah.
I think like what I want out of like a weapon list is like a list that'll fit on a page spread. Like I don't want to have any more than that. You know, so that's kind of where like I kind of draw my limitations from. Like whatever I could fit there, like because I don't want to have several pages of having to flip through and like, you know.
What games really go beyond that though? I mean,
no. I'm not saying they do.
This
Right.
list-
For the most part, they don't.
This list I showed you with the 2 pages
Mhm.
actually has equipment, animals, and services on the left page along with the weapons. And on the right page has the armors and then all the missile weapon ranges on it. So it's not just weapons. They only take up half of it.
Sure. No. And that's pretty good. And I mean, I think that's a decent number, you know, of whatever number that is, right? There's probably 30 weapons or something there.
Like in Hyperborea, they do. I mean, there's several pages, but that's taken up with because they do like really cool illustrations showing variants and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I
Well,
think
I mean,
the
for the main
space thing is and the main chart for melee weapons is 1 page.
It's 1 page.
I think for the space thing, for me, I use that as like a challenge, right? Like when I want to put a little extra challenge on something. I've had fights where they're going through this tunnel and it's small. Like I tell them, like, if you're not a dwarf or shorter, you're stooped. So like my son's 6'6" half orc isn't like, he's not swinging his bastard sword around in there. He knows that. Like I'll tell him, like, you can't use it. And you know, he's using his hand axe or his dagger or whatever, and it just gives them a little bit of an extra, like, oh, I don't have to throw 10 more monsters at them, but the environment has made things more complicated. Like we can't use this, or the angle of it, like the ranged weapons aren't going to be able to get into that fight or whatever. You know, I don't really restrict too much. I mean, my guys don't go crazy with that anyway. I mean, they have a variety of weapons, but they're not carrying a caddy, like a golf caddy full of friggin' weapons and gear. But I like to do it that way. Like if somebody wanted to bring a pike in, okay. Like, but as you guys talked about it, like it's going to be a very limited use item. Like I always wanted, because I like in like Greg Gillespie's, and I think Hyperborea has it too, but like he has the shield wall, and we were talking in my son's game, like I'm like, we need to hire enough like men at arms so we can have like at least 3 dudes with shields in the front and just start hitting them from the back, hitting them from behind the shields, to give us a wall of
spears
protection
and stuff. Yeah.
I've never had that happen, but I would like to do that.
Yeah. No, that definitely seems like a good time,
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
and I don't know if like the answer, right, is to use, so like edgelords, if you adjudicate large fights rules like battles, so why not use a pike? Well, yeah. So like, I mean, but there's certain, time and place. So so what about listing equipment and like just having an asterisk or whatever, a thing next to them that just says, hey, not to be used or not generally usable in a dungeon.
See, but
like
that's the problem. Knowing the players that we have at our table.
Yeah.
You can't say not generally used. We're just going to say, well, there's exceptions.
There's
You
exceptions,
may not
right?
use this any dungeon
Right.
setting.
Well, the exception. Well, right. But I'm thinking like, you go into, the temple of the fire giants, and it's huge cavernous space. Like, why wouldn't you be able to use a longbow,
Sure.
or whatever? But like, I mean, that's my, that's how I think of it. But yeah, I mean, you could just say not to be used in a dungeon or whatever, or not, but
Yeah, it would
but
depend.
yes,
Again, it's going to depend on the environment. I mean, you
Right,
look at like
right.
the Fellowship of the Ring going through the mines of Moria. They could have used pikes there a bunch of times.
yeah, right, because it's huge.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you look at like some of the scenes, like in like Balin's Tomb, they're using like longer weapons to brace the door closed.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
they're also not crawling through a kobold warren where the tunnel's 3.5 feet high. It's like
I'm not.
these are great halls.
I'm not really
So
for
it really
restrict.
depends.
I'm not big on restricting them though. I mean, you allow them as choices, and then you let the players know, hey, if you're going to take that
Right.
weapon into a dungeon, you're not going to, you may not be able to swing it in most dungeons, and if you do, you're going to need extra space, or you're going to hit. I mean, there are rules in there for two-handed weapons and requiring more than a 5-foot square.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have anybody side by side. You need 10 foot of swing if you're using a two-hander. Most people ignore those rules.
yeah,
If
Yeah.
you lean into those rules, then it makes a difference. They're not picking that two-handed because it does 3d6 damage when all of a sudden they realize I can't really swing it, or I'm going to run the risk of hitting my teammates with it.
Mhm.
That's when you could turn around and say, hey, you want to use that, that's fine. But if you miss by so much, you run the risk of hitting
Yeah.
somebody next to you or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
there's ways to deal with it without taking it all away.
Sure. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm just like trying to find, and that's a good way of doing it. I'm not saying that what I'm about to say isn't an argument against that because that sounds good. But I'm just trying to like find a way to make it so that it's, like if I have a weapon list that it's a decent list where most people will be okay with it. So it's not too simple, but also I don't want it to be overcomplicated. And like, I don't see the need for having like 5 different weapons that all basically do the same thing mechanically. Yeah, like I said, like we don't need a long sword and a katana and a scythe or not a scythe, a scimitar, or what I mean, because like they're all swords that are slashing that do 1d8 damage. Like
So-
there's fundamentally mechanically there's no difference in
Those
like a D&D setting.
Yeah, but those examples you used are
Yeah.
very setting specific type weapons.
Sure, right.
So
Yes.
so again, should you even be allowing
Right.
them all, or should you be like
I mean, at
And
that point,
long
I don't know. I
long
mean-
swords are common in our campaign, but you're not going to find a katana.
yeah, but that's like a cool factor for like a character where Jason's character maybe, washed up on shore, or something, or there was, a shipwreck or something that came from far overseas and they find a katana or whatever. And now this is like a cool looking sword that they found in the sand that, is just different. It stands out,
I mean, I always go with this. There you go. There's your whole list.
Yep.
But they all
What's
do the
that
same
from?
damage, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It's such a great book. I agree with what you're saying, Roger. My issue is, even if a highly skilled fighter who's been using a long sword, say he's a master of arms, he's mastered all the Western European swords of every kind. Going along the beach and they find a washed up dead samurai from whatever. Hey, here's
Yeah.
a katana. It's a new sword. The katana is used differently than a long
Right.
sword.
Right.
They are not the same weapon.
Right. Hey, this thing doesn't have a hilt. How do you? Yeah.
Right. And man, I'm sorry. I can go into this stuff all day. This
No, I
those
get it.
topics
I get
that I
it.
love
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
I always go back to the Lucerne hammer. I've been to Lucerne, Switzerland. I wanted to get a tattoo of a Lucerne hammer
Yeah.
while I was here. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
That we call a Lucerne hammer a polearm, but when we think of polearms, we usually think of something that's about 10 feet long. A Lucerne hammer is only about 5 feet long. It's really a war hammer with a longer shaft. Really, that's what it is. It's designed to be used by knights, on, and like I said, I can keep going on about this stuff. But every polearm is different. Every single polearm is meant to be used in a different situation by different people. We were talking about. I think it was the Gusarm and the glaive.
Yeah.
The bill hook. The bill hook is a perfect example.
Bill hook.
The bill hook
Yeah.
was not designed as a weapon. It's a logging tool. It became used by peasants because they had no weapons.
Right. That's what they
So-
have. Yeah.
You're right. One peasant might have a pitchfork. One might have a scythe. One might have a bill hook because these are tools that they had on hand, but they're not knightly weapons. Man, I just love it when we get to talk about this stuff.
Chance. Guy can be proud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing, right? Like, and I understand they're used different and all of that. And like, but my thing, right, that I'm trying to sort out is mechanically, like, how far do we want to go to make them different? Because like, if mechanically they're like, and I understand that they're different, right? I'm not, but if you get to a point where you boil down the rules to mechanically they're the same, then there's really no difference other than like flavor. You know what I mean?
You know what I hear you saying? We don't need fighters, thieves, wizards, and clerics, because they're all the same.
I have said that before.
I am trying to figure out one part of this conversation. So what exactly are we trying to accomplish here? Is this like if you were going to create your own system, what do you want for weapons?
Okay, spoilers.
Because if I'm going to play a game, right, we're going to use whatever's in the game.
Sure.
Whether it be this or this.
This is for the purpose of, say, like creating a game or like what we like to see in a game. And I'm using this to kind of as ideas to put into my own game, as far as, what it has. Like me, I'm happy with simplifying everything to the point where saying, okay, that's a small weapon, can only be used in one hand. That's a medium weapon that can be used in one or two hands. And it does a D6 in one hand and a D8 in two hands. And then here's a two-handed weapon that does a D10 damage. It has to be used in two hands. And then the rest is just, tags or flavor where you say, okay, this is, a spear. So obviously it does piercing damage, and you just kind of figure that out as you go, type of thing. But I know that that's not for a lot of people. So I kind of want to expand it a little bit, but I don't want to go too far where there's like this paralysis of like, oh, I've got to read through all these different weapons that I have no idea what they are, just to figure out what's the right one for me. So I'm trying to find that kind of perfect balance there. And so, my thought to answer the question, right, of what's the perfect number of weapons is, I think somewhere around 20 or so is like where I land. But maybe that's not right. But so that's kind of what the lens that I'm looking at it through. And so, so I figured I'd bring it up here, and then,
I kind of lean towards what was used in medieval times, because basically, most, unless you're playing in a different setting, most D&D settings are basically a fantasy-based version of medieval Europe, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's. I don't know that book.
I was just
answering
Edgelord's question.
But that's I don't want to say ridiculous. It's a good book, but it's how many weapons are in there?
So many weapons,
like too many.
So many awesome pieces of armor.
I think that's a good example of there being too many.
It's so good.
But see, I think that's a great example of a book as a DM that you don't plop it on the table.
You don't put the whole in there. You put what you wanted.
Right. We're not making characters out of this book. Me as a DM, I'm going to find some cool weapon out of it that they've never heard of and put it in there as magical treasure or something, or even just standard treasure. Like, hey, it's something different, and that's a good way to introduce it. But if you're going to do that, you can't be doing like standard AD&D weapon proficiencies where, two weapons out of the list and can't do anything else.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, that's where I do think modern games have gotten better and said like, hey, the rogue can use these and the cleric can use these, but a fighter can use anything they want.
Mhm.
You know, let them pick up any weapon and swing it without a penalty. And now you can introduce that kind of stuff. You know, and maybe you introduce some new type of hammer for the cleric. You know, that they can use hammers, so you just introduce it. You just hand wave it. They can use it. It doesn't need to be called
Like the
this type-
Lucerne hammer.
Well,
Well, the Lucerne hammer is, oh boy,
yeah.
it's meant to be
Oops.
used to. Okay, so you and this
I
is one
said
of
his
the-
name 3 times.
this is one of those things that really leads into what Mike was saying. He's talking about clerics can use hammers. Oh God! Now I have no one to look at while I'm talking. I'm just looking at myself. Clerics in most settings can use blunt weapons, including the Warhammer. However, the Warhammer's back end is a spike. It's
Spike on it.
specifically meant to puncture through plate mail and chainmail. That's what it's for.
Well, they're not allowed
So-
to use that end.
There you go. And that's and yeah, and we talk about maces. Maces had blades on them. They weren't just clubs. A club's a club. So but anyway, so now I've got my Warhammer, and I'm talking about this because God, I love Warhammers. There is an episode of Forge and Fire where the final 2 contestants have to make Warhammers. Both of them create gorgeous masterworks, and I had to freeze frame and just look at them for a while. Anyway, so a Warhammer is meant to be used one-handed with a shield. A Lucerne hammer is meant to be used two-handed, usually used by knights that have been dismounted or formations of infantry that are trying to dismount knights, puncture their plate mail, and spike them with the spike head. God, this is a great episode for me. I'm having so much fun.
So to touch on what you said, though, a mace, regardless of what it looks like, according to the rules, is just listed as a blunt weapon.
That's right.
You can't
Yeah.
pierce with it. You're not piercing with it. You're
That's
just
right.
bashing them with it.
Yes.
The spikes on it are doing additional damage when you're bashing, but it's still a bludgeoning weapon. It's a blunt style weapon, which is why a cleric can use it. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. It's not like blunt and pierce. It's just blunt.
Right. No.
Which-
Yeah. But that's the thing. Different maces had different uses, and
Right.
and that. But we don't worry about. Okay, this mace has spikes on it. This mace has blades on it. It's a mace. It does D6. It's a blunt weapon. Clerics use it.
Yep.
And there you go. And now the conversation's over because that's the general acceptance rule, and I'm fine with that. And then going back to earlier, man, Sir Toxalot is living up to his name. You're welcome, Andy. Enjoy the episode. This goes back to: do you want to simulate, or do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons? Because if we're going to simulate, my Lucerne hammer that I love was invented around 1500. That's not medieval times. That's Renaissance. So if we're playing medieval fantasy,
Yeah.
I can't use my Lucerne hammer.
I mean, you're
I have-
split. Yeah.
There you
I,
go. But
I
see,
get it. The setting of D&D is kind of a mixed. I mean, some of
Right.
it goes back to the Bronze Age, and
Absolutely.
but obviously that's not all true because there's steel armor, and I mean it's a mishmash of everything that was
The
100
chat's
years
on
ago
fire,
and back
man.
or whatever.
I'm loving this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's and we've talked about that before. That's the general nature of Dungeons and Dragons. We don't worry
Yeah.
about if it's early medieval, late medieval, Renaissance, modern era. We don't care about that. It's guys wearing armor, swinging swords. We're fighting dragons. We don't
Yeah.
care what year it is. And I'm totally fine with that. Earlier, you were talking about, the different pole arms and all that. And somebody, I think it might have been Dan, said, it's up to the player to know what his weapon does. If he doesn't, he needs to ask the DM. I totally agree with that. And if the DM says a pole arm, regardless of its length, its actual length, regardless of its actual design, your pole arm does 1d10 damage. It has 10-foot reach. You can use it in the dungeon or not, depending on what the DM says. And that's the final say. Okay, cool.
I
I'm
like
good
the
with
idea of saying like a pole arm does like 2 of the 3 damage types of like piercing, slashing, or blunt.
Yeah.
Like pick 2 when you buy it. And that's, you know what I mean? And it's like, I know that some of them you could do 3, right?
The halberd has
No.
all 3 and is specifically designed to do that.
Which one?
The halberd.
I didn't.
The halberd has a hammer face, a spike head, and a blade back.
Yeah, hammer and axe and a pointy tip. Yeah. But I mean, like that would be like the oddball. Like, so I think doing like what I said, like a pole arm, you buy it does 1d10 damage. Pick 2, it can do, piercing and blunt or piercing and slashing or whatever. Like that's it,
Yeah.
And I think that makes it
I would be
easy
fine
where
with
people
that.
don't have to look up.
And
the
that's
thing,
even assuming that we're using that kind of damage.
Sure.
I don't want. I have no desire to steer this towards Shadow Dark or any other. Most of the more basic RPGs don't worry about the damage types. That came into AD&D because it was based off of Gary's War Games.
Sure.
So
Sure,
I
absolutely.
mean, just looking at a halberd, because I had to look this one up because when I was looking at them, I didn't see any that had 3.
Mhm.
And I mean, just looking at a halberd, which is, we're talking like 14th, 15th century. I mean, it's been used historically, Swiss and Germans in the 14th and 15th
Yes.
century, Spanish 16th century.
They were huge fans of the polearms, the Swiss.
But it is like a spike on the end,
Mhm.
and basically 2 blades. One's got an axe blade on one side with a spiked blade on the other. And according to this in the 2E handbook, it's just listed as piercing and slashing.
Right.
You couldn't. Well, I thought you said it was bludgeoning, and I'm just.
No,
I mean,
actually, I thought it was a bludgeoning weapon. But if I'm wrong, man, 2E, I haven't played 2E in 20 years.
yeah. The description says spike used to thrust and keep opponents at distance, axe blade for a heavy cleaving blow, defeating armor, and the hook used to pierce plate armor and pull mounted knights from their saddles. The hook is the backside of it.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't recall ever seeing a hook. And again, I'm talking about what I've seen. That doesn't mean this not what's in D&D. Every halberd I've ever seen has a spike and a hammer and a blade, no hook. The hook was like the Lucerne hammer. It had a hook because you're trying to dismount cavalry.
Well, here I'm going to show you the one that I was looking at, so you can. Oh Jesus! The picture that was listed there actually links to some site that sells reproduction stuff.
So looking at a little Google there, the halberd is as Mike describes it, but the poleaxe is as Jason describes it.
There's the link in the private chat, the one I was looking at.
Man, I was getting so excited and worked up. I had to turn my fan on. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
You want? Oh yeah, look at that thing, Mike. You got the? Do you want to? Well, I can do. I can do it here. I can do it here. I think. Let me.
So the hook would be the
That's
top,
nice.
the top part.
Yeah.
Opposite the blade.
Yeah, boy, that's gorgeous.
Now you want to buy one, don't you? for
can
$350?
be yours for $350.
If I had that kind of room, dude. Yeah, I'm like, boy, my eyes glazed over.
But
Yeah.
no hammer.
No
No,
hammer.
there's no hammer on that.
Interesting.
Do they have?
And that's a
yeah, I don't know.
Spanish halberd, isn't it?
I'm
That's
not
a
sure which.
16th century Spanish halberd. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it says there. Weaponry.
Yep.
Oh
I-
yeah. Ooh,
I
medieval
think you are
polearm.
correct, and
Medieval
I'm
polearm,
wrong.
yes.
I don't see anything with a hammer. At least
The
all the
poleaxe has a
references I'm
hammer,
seeing.
though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I saw.
So, are we still? Oh, that's not. Oh yeah. Is that showing the different
here we
weapons
go.
there?
Yep.
So this is
Yeah.
the pole weapons that they have here. That's all they got though.
Yeah. Well, I found a picture of a halberd with a hammer on it. It's got a blade, a spike, and a hammer. So.
Oh,
but
here we go. Pole axe head.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying.
This one here has the hammer, or the European
Yeah, but
Warhammer pole axe.
is that actually called a halberd though?
No.
Because
That's
they
not-
got it listed on there as poleaxe, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, personally, I think it's nice to have that variety.
Mhm.
You know, if the players choose to. I mean, again, you're not going to take it into a dungeon, but say you're traveling cross country with the thing and they're mounted on horses, and somebody says they want to. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's on them
Uh-oh.
at the end of the day, trying to keep it. You know, hey, we're going to go in the dungeon. Well, what are you doing with your pole arm? You know.
I would point out that company also has a picture of what they're calling a scythe.
Okay.
That is not a scythe.
I don't know. Stan, say something.
Yo, are you there?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm having some issues. My thing locked up, but I can still hear you guys.
Yeah, you're still moving around for us.
Oh, that's why. This is okay. I got a page unresponsive thing for the stream, but yeah. Yeah, so I mean some of that's interesting, right? Like and I don't know like what the solution or whatever is, in game. I mean, for me, like I said, I just don't want to have I don't see the advantage, right, to having a bunch of different like pole arms listed, like if they're all the same. I mean, I guess some of them, if they're different, that's fine, um but yeah, I don't know, like I just don't, I hate to say like waste space, but like I don't know, like where's that line of, like this is just here for flavor and this is here. I mean, like we're not doing a medieval simulator, right? Like we're not like, and I'm all for like, hey, we don't take these things into a dungeon. Like pole arms are ridiculous to take and use into a dungeon. And I should start, saying that. But like as soon as you start saying that, I think it opens up more things where you need to have more appropriate weapons for using in a dungeon.
What do you think about a trained walrus?
A trained walrus?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the right type of dungeon.
I mean, Davis seems to think it's a good idea to put it on the equipment list.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
So
he would.
Because I have to be right, or at least be able to verify what I think is correct. I'm looking at the Swiss National Museum, and if there's anybody that knows pole arms, it's the Swiss.
Do you want to share it?
If I had any idea how to, here I can copy and paste into your thing here. Give me just a moment.
There's
Clearly,
a share
I
screen.
was meant to live in the 15th century.
There's a share screen thing down at the bottom.
Is there?
Yeah.
Chat help. Hang on. There it is. Share screen right in front of my camera. Okay. Is this it? Share.
And then it'll pick what. Yep.
Hey, while you're doing that,
this is awesome.
the Oxford Dictionary's definition of a halberd is a combined spear and battle axe.
That works for me. So can you guys see what I'm scrolling through here?
Yeah, we could see a bunch of guys on a hill.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this here is a halberd for one era. That's a halberd for another area. That is also a halberd. That's a halberd.
That looks like a spear.
So
Okay.
right, exactly, and that was my point. And this is what Mike is saying a halberd. He is correct. For this time period, 1540 to 1586, that's a halberd. So I am not saying that I'm right, because I still don't see a picture of a hammer with mine, but I have seen them. But what Mike is saying is absolutely correct. This is a halberd by the Swiss National Museum standards. I can't argue with those guys. So there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. The halberd is German it's a shaft and a blade. So there you go. Two-handed all-purpose weapon suitable for slashing, thrusting, tearing, cutting. It does not say bashing or hammering. I'm going to go with Mike is correct. There you go.
Okay.
Now, how do I turn this off?
There should be a stop sharing up at the top, above the window.
I'll find it.
So when you
It's right in front of my camera.
hey, hang on before. Oh,
Oh, I can put it back on.
no, it's all right. It's all right. Okay.
No, yeah, let's not do that.
I was just looking because I was looking at I googled historical pole arms,
Mhm.
and it talks about they feature a long shaft and an attached blade, axe, or spike, and then it goes through different types, and it says the halberd, a Swiss perfected weapon, combines an axe blade, beak-like spike, and a spear tip. The glaive, a long curved blade on a pole that
Mhm.
allows for devastating cuts, which reminds me very much of one of the ones you just listed there, showed there.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah,
that didn't have the handle, it was just a blade.
Right, and that's
That reminds
when
me
I
of a
saw it. I
blade.
was like, "That's a glaive. That's not a halberd, but
Yeah.
it's defined as a halberd."
Yeah.
Well, I think so. Gary Gary listed there was a book that's super hard to get now, some book of weapons that he listed as like his definitive source where he got his stuff from. So I'm going to guess he picked the weapons based on historical periods and mixed and matched and said, okay, we're going to have a glaive and we're going to have a halberd and we're going to have what. And you're right, absolutely. Over the centuries, other civilizations have adopted weapons and called them different things, whether they were similar or very different with the same name. So I think he just kind of picked the ones to go with and said, this is what we're using.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if now you get to the point where you're like, is my simulation getting too far?
Right.
Am I getting too far into the weeds with it? That's where I might say it's getting too far when you start really nitpicking the definitions versus what's just listed in the book.
Right. That's definitely way too far, which is where I go back to, we just need a line that says pole arm 1d10. But I mean, I there is something to be said about damage types, and like I don't know where, like, I like the idea of having the weapons versus armor chart, but also I understand that that's a thing that people will, not take to. Well, certain people won't take to, right? And like, I mean, I got to be able to market the game and play the game with people that, will actually play it, that don't want a historically accurate combat, right? Like, I mean, we're not like using, man-to-man combat rules where we're picking hit locations and the opponent's picking where their shield's going, and or like the old duel rules or whatever in chainmail or things like that. So Matt says, the less the stuff you use, the less weapon depth and specificity, that you need in the game.
That word.
So yeah. Pole arm 1d10 slashing, piercing, or blunt, depending on the weapon. Yeah, absolutely. Gary Gygax's World Builder has dozens of pages of weapons and armor and their inspiration. Really? You got a PDF of that, Dan? Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I know they got a bunch of different things too.
I've only been like just flaunting it around jokingly, but like in Hyperborea, it's pretty simple. I mean, they have a page of weapons, and then for melee, and then another page for range, and the range one's about half a page. But like a lot of these weapons have annotations to them that are just like fit in the margin. Basically, it's like ignores AC bonus provided by opponent's shield, if any. I think that's the whip. It's a horseman's flail, actually. So it gives them that, and all they do is Jeff did was it's a little symbol next to the name of the weapon, and then you look at what the symbol.
Yeah, and you look at the list. That's very similar to the way they did it in 1E. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, okay. Dan, share that if you. Oh, I can't see you. Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
Hi, Dan.
Lens cap on. Hi, guys. How's it going? So as soon as Mike mentioned the book, I was like, oh, I think I know it. At least I know one that has a ton of weapons in it. So this is Gary Gygax's World Builder.
Okay. Yeah.
And he had that whole, Chorlord published him and everything. But like starting right early on, it goes right into armor, all the different types of armor, all the different components of armor, like different things from different culture, like and a pauliere. I thought that was a pauldron, but apparently I don't know. That's different from a pauldron. What do I know? Jason's probably like, well, it's because you're an idiot. But
I would never say that.
but like, there's so much cool stuff in this book. If you wanted to get like super into what all the different components of weapons and armor are, and this is just the armor piece. The weapons are nuts. So axes and axe likes, bludgeoning weapons and clubs, knives and knife likes. There's descriptions for everything.
To me, this fits right in that same category of the book that you as a DM pull out to introduce individual items, because
agreed.
We tried once because second edition has piecemeal armor in there that you can get into. we tried that before, and all it
Mhm.
ends up being is players trying to like. There's no reason to
Maxing out.
maxing out
Yeah.
their armor class in any way, shape, or form. They'd rather be completely mismatched and as
Right.
long as they can maximize the armor class.
Right.
So we kind of did away with that and said, no, we're not going to keep doing that.
But yeah, and then you get into pole arms, and there's like pages of pole arms.
Yeah. So this is the book. They just redid this, didn't they?
They
Or
did
is
the
it-
Kickstarter campaign for it. They haven't released them yet. According to Chuck, they should be opening it up to late backers soon.
Okay.
Soon.
Okay.
I'm not sure how different they'll be from the old versions.
That head on the Lucerne hammer looks a lot smaller than the ones I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing bigger ones too.
I don't know if I can make that any bigger. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
can't.
you can't, but I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't widen it
Oh, Jesus.
at all.
Wow.
What'd you do?
Can you widen? Can you
I
widen
widen
your
it?
window?
Does that work?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that worked.
So
Oh,
what I can
fantastic.
do
Oh.
is this,
And
and then there we go.
Oh, there you go. 2 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like
See,
there's
this
tons
is
of
the
stuff.
definition of too many.
Autism. Oh,
Yeah. Like
In fact, that one that we said was a glaive looks awful like that. What's it?
Logober X.
Lockler X.
Yeah, where is it? I saw it in here somewhere.
You were just on it right there, second row.
Oh, yeah. X, Logober. There we go.
That does look a lot like that one Jason had on there, wasn't it?
This is the weapon of the secret cow level cows in Diablo 2. Is the
there you go.
Logober
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
So
I
of
thought it
autism.
was here. I just thought it was a Bardache.
well, that's got to be.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Shows-
got a bigger
shows
swoop
what I
to
know.
it. Yeah. No less
Moo,
than
moo,
2
moo,
foot
moo.
long blade.
Moo. Yeah.
Moo.
Oh
Moo.
man. I miss those days.
Yeah. So,
Slaughtering cows for fun and profit.
yeah, absolutely. And Stone of Jordan drops.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, the glaive's up here. There's
Yeah.
a glaive fork, a glaive gisarm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. That's way too much. And are there stats for all these too?
Oh yeah.
Do they all do 1d3 damage or
No.
what's
No.
Oh, okay.
Because Gary ain't a bitch.
Oh, right.
See, almost
got-
all of them do D10.
They almost all do D10. They have different critical ranges. They have different critical damage multipliers. Different ranges, weight, slashing period. This is all D20, right? So this is 3rd edition, but you could
Sure.
still just insert them wherever. But yeah, there's stats for all of this stuff in this book, and this is just the first 35 pages. So
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. That's definitely like way too many pole arms to put in the list.
but look at all the pretty art. I agree with Jason. Jason is right.
Hey, D&D dad and son.
Yeah.
So, but
Techno.
yeah, I just wanted to show that because I thought it was super cool, and I've been like
Yeah.
nerding out while cooking dinner while you guys are having this conversation. My wife is just laughing at me and shaking her head. So
Yeah.
I love this
Well,
stuff.
Yeah, this is the thing where Jason would be at the table and I'd have just pole arm written on the thing and he would have one of these things out and be like, this is
Which
mine.
pole
This
arm
is the one I
specifically?
have, can do this. Whatever it is. Like,
Straightening you out.
Well,
yeah.
I'm always going to go with the Lucerne hammer. I just
Sure.
absolutely love it.
Sure.
Love that weapon. Yeah.
Sure.
And so as long as you call it a pole arm, I'm like, okay, cool. Can I have a Lucerne hammer? And you're like, yeah, it's a pole arm, does D10. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, and like that's the thing. Like when I'm sitting, like that's just like a flavor thing for me. Like
Yes.
and like I mean, we can get into it. And we talked about it a little bit last week with like the guns and stuff, right? But like how many pistols do we need? That are like small, portable. Like a Derringer or like a small 20, like any small 22 caliber, concealable, handgun? Like
What,
how many different brands and
what era?
that,
are
like
we
like
talking
do
here?
we? What's that?
What era? And again,
Right.
you
No,
keep
what era?
opening
No,
that door,
you're
man.
right. Yeah.
Are we
No,
doing?
you're right.
Are we doing simulation?
Like
Are we doing
modern
realistic?
wise, well, that's what I'm saying, like even if we were doing like blacklight, like I love blacklight, right? Like I ran a couple times now and stuff, but like I think like with his reloading rules and stuff, like it doesn't make a huge difference in some of the weapons. Like like to me they're like pointless, except they're there for you because you want to say, hey, I have this brand
That's right.
of gun, which I'm fine with, but that's just a flavor thing at that point.
Yeah.
Right, because mechanically it's identical. And so I kind of feel the same way with, again, the pole arms. Or remember that discussion, remember the one time we like I did throw out there the one special weapon and I was like, oh, this is like a ceremonial dagger and it's got a wavy blade. So I was like, it's a Chris.
Mhm.
And then we were like, well, is that a dagger or a short sword? And I'm like,
Right.
well, it's like a large dagger. And we're like, well, yeah, but we need to know if it does a D4 or a D6 damage.
That was
And I
a
said,
long
well-
conversation.
And I said, well, let's just use a D5. And your eye twitched and was like, no, we're not doing that. And I was like, well, I'm the GM. And you were like, I don't care. We're not using the goddamn D5. So, and Tyler was like, I'm a halfling. I just want to know if I can hold it in one hand.
Yes,
So I was
you
like,
can.
okay, let's call it a short sword. And that's it. It's a short
Yes,
sword. And we,
D6.
but yeah, after like 20 minutes of conversation, we're like, okay, it's a short sword. It's a D6. But like, that's kind of where I am with this stuff. Like, we don't need a Chris, or like, we don't need, a bunch of different handguns or machine guns or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just all the same, right? Like, I mean, to me, I know that they're not, but I mean, mechanically, like, how far into the weeds do we really need to be, with some of this stuff,
Yeah. Depends on what you want from the game.
Yeah,
and that's, and I think I've said it a couple times. For me, it always comes down to the DM. If he tells me that a polearm can be used in a dungeon, it has reach, it does D10, I'm going to write that down. I'm okay. If he says it does D10, it does not have reach,
Yeah.
you can use it in a dungeon, I'm going to write that down. I don't really care what the decision is. Just tell me what the rules are, and I'm ready to play the game. I'll be happy to go.
And Chance mentions about the difference between sword lengths is like, which is why I say we go to the DCC dice, and we have some daggers that'll do 1d3 and then 1d4 and then you have 1d5, 1d6, 1d7, 1d8. You just have, depending on anything between 24 and 28 inches does
You'll probably be singing
1d5
by yourself on game day.
No, but
Agreed.
right. So like that's where I'm at. Like really, like okay, as far as different sword lengths, it's like okay, what do we call this? Do we consider this a short sword or a long sword? And for me, the difference is easy. It's can this be used only one-handed, or can this be used one or two-handed? And I know that even like a short sword, right, with like a but if the handle, the grip only has room for like one hand, then it's a one-handed weapon, and that's it. And like you can hold it with two hands or whatever, but that's it. Whereas something like a katana, hey, that can be used one-handed or two-handed. So therefore, that's a long sword. It does 1d8 damage. Like that. That's my kind of.
I think a lot of this with the weapons too also goes down to the type of group you have, which.
Sure.
It's funny because
Yeah.
the way I see it seems very contradictory to the way I think Jason sees it. I think we both agree when it comes to the weapons, but I think him and I have a very different view of the game table because, like I've heard it on the thing here, on our stream. Some players and GMs are like, when it's game time, we're going to sit down and it's going to be serious for the next 4 hours, and I don't want any joking at the table, and we get to my table and it's all friends that have been around for 30 years. And sometimes we sit here and bullshit for half an hour before we even started. And maybe in the middle of the game, something comes up and somebody goes to use the bathroom and guys start talking. And next thing you know, there's a story going on for 20 minutes. And we look at it this way. I mean, our goal is to sit at the table and enjoy it and have fun. It's not a speed run to race through D&D. You know, we're playing the game, we're having fun, but if we stop to do that, to converse about stuff, I kind of see that the same with the weapons and the equipment. If you want that streamlined game where combat's super fast and nobody has to look anything up, yeah, play Shadow Dark or something where you got a limited list and it's, you know, really easy to use. If you want to go with a larger list of weapons and armor and everything, it is definitely going to slow the game. I don't mean much. When people talk about it slowing it down, you know, a couple extra seconds for somebody's turn doesn't concern me at all. That's not really any big deal. If you look at the whole over the course of 4 hours and you've slowed your game down by 10 minutes because of people's choices, it's really not that serious. But I do think you got to have the right table. You got to have people that aren't so concerned with streamlining the game. It's got to be go serious. That's why I find it a little contradictory with Jason, because I know he's very much about, you know, I want my game to go and, you know, it's playtime. It's serious. Let's go. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. I just think that. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I am very serious about it, but that doesn't mean that I don't have humor in the game. I mean, I'm happy, when the guys break stuff up, like we get a big laugh out of something that happened. My issue is when the game devolves into guys discussing, the game that just happened because we play at 4:00 on Sunday and the first Sunday game just ended. Let's talk about football. It's 5:30. Shut your yap. We're supposed to be playing Dungeons and Dragons. Save that for before or after. I don't care. I don't care if it doesn't have to be like go. But I have to get this out of my head. Chancellor is baiting me. An S-stock is more similar to a rapier than a long sword. It's a very long, stiff sword, and it's meant to puncture plate armor. Earlier, you talked about a Cincada or a Sakes. A Sakes is a Viking weapon forged from a broken sword. They never wasted material.
You got him, Chance.
Cincada is a 5-finger. So it's actually a long, wide dagger, 5 fingers wide, shaped like a triangle. Why do you do this to me?
Thanks, Chance. Thanks for that, Chance. Do it again.
What bugs me, because I talk about the time wasted at the table so often. It bugs me when it's someone's turn and they really only have one thing to do. Please, sir, you're using a longsword. You're going to swing your longsword.
Yeah. No, I
roll
agree.
your D20 and let's go. And also rolling it around like this in your hand for 30 seconds while you contemplate the universe does not change the roll that lands on the table. For God's sake, roll the die. There we go. That's what I got.
Well, I agree. I agree with you there. I mean, it's the same thing with spellcasters. You get the guy at the table that's got 5 spells, and he's got to sit there flipping through the book to figure out what he's going to do.
Yes.
Learn your spells, learn your whatever. I guess that's not really what I was getting at. I was just more getting at the. I do think. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't even think the weapons are going to slow it down. I think that's just Roger being complaining.
Right.
It'll save all the time because you'll have one class for them to play.
Yeah, one class, one weapon with one die roll.
That's right. One die.
Play it and like it.
The problem, and I think we have talked about this before because early on we were talking about weapon speeds and whether we like them and damage types and all that. I like weapon speeds. I'm a big fan of that. And for me, it's no. All it is just another number that's on my sheet. My weapon speed is 3. I add 3 to my initiative or subtract 3, whatever system you're using. That's all there is to it. But there are plenty of players that they see more numbers and they vapor lock. Oh God! Now I've got my initiative is my dex and the weapon speed's a minus. Am I going first? What's going on? And and usually that goes away after they've learned the system and they get more used to it. But early on, it causes problems. I still love weapon speeds and weapon damage types. I think
the reason why I love weapon speeds so much is that it really makes people think about and choose their weapons. And they gotta think about, when do I want to go in the round? If I got that short sword, I got a weapon speed of 3. I'm going early. But if I got a long sword, it's a weapon speed of 5. But if I want to swing that big two-handed sword and do 3d6 damage against a large creature, it's a weapon speed of 10, and I'm going after everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
and
But,
that's
but
where
when you hit, you're gonna knock the crap out of somebody.
right. If you don't get, but the chances are more than not, you're going to be defending a swing before you get to swing because
Right.
you chose to have that big ass sword.
That's right.
And I like that. I like them having the choice. Like, yeah, you get the option to have that big sword that does a ton of damage, but there's a downside to it.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
also like the weapon modifiers versus armor. But again, that's more math
Yeah.
you have to throw in. Some
Yeah.
people like it, some
It
people
is.
don't. That's okay.
Right.
I definitely like the weapon versus armor thing. Like my thing on that is it's like one more thing that the players are going to have to look up, and it doesn't like as much as I like it, like I don't think that it alters the game enough to warrant having to use it like every
All right.
round. And I get that like people like Jason or like myself or maybe Mike, right? Like would just say like would memorize it or like no and say, okay, I get a +2 to hit because that guy's wearing chain. Or I got a mace,
Well,
so I get a +2 against plate. But some people
Let
aren't.
me
like that.
ask you. Let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like what 3 different types? I mean, if
Well, with 3, but if you look at the 1E book, there's it's the list of the weapons versus
Right,
the
right,
armor.
but what
and
I'm
whatnot.
saying is, say you're a fighter and your main weapon is a longsword.
Yeah,
It's never going to change. The longsword,
Right.
those are going to be the same. So if you literally list those pluses and
Yeah.
minuses for the
Right.
armor types on it, it's never going to change.
right.
It's not
+2
some-
against chain,
it's
-2
not-
against plate, or whatever it
The
is.
o-
Yeah,
and you talk about, well, players have to look it up. The only time they would ever have to look it up is say they found a new weapon type. So, okay, they
Yeah.
open the book, they take 2 minutes to look it up, find it, write it down on their sheet, and then they don't have to look that one up again either. So
sure.
it's really not as much as people make it out to be.
No,
It-
I know.
Yes, it is an added,
I've
is an
had
added
players.
and players have to remember to use it.
I've had players, Mike, literally, that will have their character sheet in front of them, and every time it's their turn, they will roll a d20, and then they will look down at their character sheet,
I
and then they
still
will
have players
flip
do it.
their character sheet to like the next
I knew
page
that's who you were
and
talking
look at the
about.
notes and say, okay, 3 + 2 + 1
Yep,
plus
I got players.
15.
Dude, you have a +7.
And then I'll say miss, and then they'll say, "Oh no, 16."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like, and
I've
I
got
get
this,
it.
I've got guys that'll do the
So-
same exact thing, and they go through it every time. And I'm like, dude, you need a +5 to hit. You needed a +5 last time. You need a +5 this time.
That's right.
All your bonuses add up to a +5. Unless anything changes on your sheet, man.
Yep.
That's all you need tonight is a +5 to remember.
Yeah,
You don't have to look it up every time
I
you
think
roll.
Agile's taking off. I think he's headed out.
So, yeah, Agile.
Oh, Agile. Thanks for saying bye to Stan.
Well, Stan was
Bye,
engaging
Agile.
him.
He doesn't care about the rest of us.
Appreciate it. I mean,
Yeah, Joe.
thanks for coming, I guess, No, thanks, Agile. It's been great to have you in the chat. We got to get you on again sometime.
I like Mike. You specifically mentioned the longsword. I love that you said that because anytime I play a fantasy RPG, the first thing I do is I open up the weapon table and I look for the longsword. If it's D8, then I know what every other weapon's going to do because for me the longsword is like the
Yeah.
base weapon in
Yep.
Dungeons and Dragons. If it says D8, I'm good to go. If it says some other number, I'm like, oh, okay. Then I have to kind of adjust my way of thinking here. Yeah, that's how I always do. Edgelord's wrong about Agile being right.
Just- oh my God. Yeah, Dan, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Did you add like 6 pins to your hat from like
did.
2
I
days
got-
ago?
I got Conan's father's sword, and I got a
Nice.
Hyperborea pin because I bought some stuff from Jeff because he had Ding and Dent books, and I was like, you know what I need? 2
Nice.
extra players books. So I
Nice.
also bought a couple shirts in a size for my wife, so now I can have my big titty booth babe behind me to promote the channel. I'll try to bring
Nice.
her to CNY. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I added pins to my hat because I'm a dork, and
No,
it's.
Joe,
now
I don't know
become-
if the rest of the guys have seen it. Yeah, flip
Oh.
it around. Show them the back.
So I have it covered in red Sonia and a couple Conans.
Right.
Buttons are
because
not my thing, but I do approve of your buttons.
They are not really my thing either. However, I thought it was fun, and they were like $2 each on eBay. So why not?
Chance, thanks for your parting words that will have Jason talking for the next 25 minutes.
I'm gonna have to look those two up because I think I know what a Gian is, but I have no idea what a cat's balger is. I thought
I just saw that.
I thought it said cat ball bag, and I was like, "What?"
Thanks for coming, Chance.
So now I'm gonna look them up. So thank you.
It is an arming sword from the Holy Roman Empire.
The cat's balger is
Yes,
okay.
it looks cool.
I will check it out.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
So
See,
Yeah.
if Chance was a bigger troll, he would have like picked like 5 like obscure actual weapons and then just thrown a 6th one that he made up.
now he's pulled back. Hanger sword and a cutlass.
It's fine.
All right. Thanks, Chance. Thanks for coming. This is the last goodbye that you get, though. Get the hell out. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I was just kind of thinking about this, and I think that I dug too deep in trying to make like tables of stuff and like multiplying things and saying, okay, I need like a hammer that's small that does piercing damage or what, you know what I mean? Like went through like all the permutations and try to like figure that out. Because I really think that anything like on top of that, like any weapon that's the same mechanically, I don't want to say like it's a waste, but like it's just a flavor thing at that point. And so, I mean, that's kind of where I was kind of trying to figure that out of like what that line is. And like Dan's like flipping through the book and it's like, just a million different, pole arms. And it's like statistically, like I get, okay, maybe this one can trip somebody or this one can, grab somebody or whatever. And they're like differences, but I bet you there's 20 of them that are identical.
If only you could
You
do
know.
combat maneuvers like that without necessarily being tied to a weapon, like some amazing systems allow you to do.
Oh, like what system is that, Dan?
Oh, that would be Hyperborea.
You don't have the look at Stan.
Oh, please,
Stan pulls it out.
please.
Where's
I
the
got my
cardboard?
sign.
There it is. There
Yeah.
it is.
I got my sign. I did pull
Maybe-
that out when I was talking to Talanian one night on I think Jeff's show, and he thought it was
That's
hilarious.
awesome.
So
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I shouldn't be worried about making a list and doing it like that. I mean, maybe I should just be playing Hyperborea and enjoying it.
I have
That's where
said
my
that
brain
so many
goes when
times.
it comes to making games. Is like there's so many games out there. There's got to be one that fits what I want. So
Yeah.
I don't need to do it. I'm not trying
Well,
to discourage
Stan-
anybody, but
Stan, you're interesting because like it seems like every couple of weeks you tell us a new rule that you're using from Hyperborea in your CNC game. And I keep
Yeah.
thinking about the whole ship of thesis thing.
Well, that's
Where,
how
like-
I went from CNC back to 2E.
Right. Well, it's like eventually you start patching all these holes in CNC or whatever with other systems, right? With Hyperborea or second edition, where like eventually like you got to come to the concession that we're not playing CNC anymore. Like there's more, there's
Yeah,
more
no,
duct
that's
tape
true.
and bubble gum in the game
Yeah.
than
Here's the-
actual game is.
that's
like.
true.
Here's
I've
the
actually
deal.
like
Stan, here's the deal. You got CNC and Hyperborea ships going side by side, and you keep throwing your Hyperborea stuff over to help your ship that's bailing. They're trying to bail water. Just let it sink and have everybody jump in the Hyperborea ship and problem solved.
and my guys would. They've actually mentioned it. Like, I mean, I've always kind of like house ruled stuff and done stuff like that. So I'm never a raw guy, right? But we've talked about it. I think I've said on the stream, the one reason I don't switch to Hyperborea for my current campaign is because if I run Hyperborea, and I am planning to, I want it to be in Hyperborea.
in Hyperborea.
I want to experience the setting. But actually, ironically, like today, like a bunch of my YouTube video that I did about the rule changes I made to CNC with Hyperborea, got some comments, and one of them was basically like they wish that there was a high fantasy version of Hyperborea with because the players always want to play like dwarves and elves and stuff like that, which you could easily
but then it's not Hyperborea anymore.
No,
Yeah,
you just want
right.
the system, but you want the system for it, right? Like you used Hyperborea to run Ravenloft, right? That's not Hyperborea, but it's a great system though. And like my response was, if there was a high fantasy version of Hyperborea, that would be my go-to system for all D&D style games.
I don't think it would be that hard to add in.
Not at all.
It really wouldn't.
A dwarf and an elf, or what,
No, especially because the races in Hyperborea, mechanically, there's not really
They don't do anything.
Right.
So
right.
you could
They're just
easily
cosmetic.
bolt on the races from whatever you wanted and just bring those features in.
Yep, and that may be
Yeah.
to do. But I do want to give Hyperborea its initial run in the setting.
Oh yeah,
as it's intended.
plus it's awesome, and the
I'm-
modules are pretty great. So
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to run a
They're good,
module for my weekly group when my turn comes up.
nice.
Yeah. And I think like Hyperborea is definitely I think it's got enough meat on the bones and the stuff there where like that's the game I probably should be running as like my home game. And like stuff like Shadow Dark, like should be what I'm running at, conventions or for one shots and things like that, because it's easy to get people into a game. Like I think that's where like I'm gonna land. I mean, obviously I still want to play Shadow Dark. I'm not switching my home campaign yet. I know Jason's like, darn it. But like, no, I mean, like I want to give it the go, right? Like we want to play it for a bit. We want to feel it out and see where it goes, see how it works at higher level when when the Western Reaches stuff comes out, and see what's there and see how it works. So I mean, I think we got a little ways yet, because I think like, are you 5th level yet, Jason?
No, because I'm playing Leopold now.
Right.
I think he's 10 or 12 experience points, maybe a little higher, into 3rd level.
Into 3rd level,
coming up
right?
on 4th, coming up.
Right. So the game is pretty like it's getting there a little bit, right? So it's definitely we're definitely starting to get into a point where I think we're going to give it a good go. You know what I mean? We'll get a good feel for it. Where it's going to be, at higher levels. Because I think it like somewhere around probably, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th level. Like I think that's where like a lot of the meat of like the D20 system is. Like that's where it's really like, the characters are finally coming into their own. The classes are different enough, and they have their own kind of powerful things. They don't, the characters aren't so squishy, but there's still kind of that threat of death where they have to be careful. They're not like super powerful yet or whatever. Not that I think in Shadow Dark that they're going to be, super powerful or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Like I think a wizard with Fireball at advantage, casting Fireball at advantage,
Different game.
could make the game, different.
Can we go back to weapons for a second?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, I mean, that's where we should be. So
no, it's your show. I've been watching Drag 347. Your knowledge of Chinese weapons is pretty awesome. I'm digging it. The Jian, I had to look it up. As soon as I saw it, I knew what it was. It's the Wushu sword. I just didn't know it was called a Jian. So yeah, that's, you see it in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Michelle Yeoh is using a Jian. I just didn't know that.
Did I
Anyway,
miss that? Oh, okay. That's
I've been reading all your texts going by, and I'm digging it. I don't know a whole lot about Chinese weapons. My focus is mostly Japanese and Western European. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's he's going on about this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that halberd, I'm familiar with that as well. I did not know what it was called. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
The Demi-Lune was in the book that I was showing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Demi being half and moon, so the half
Mhm.
moon blade on it. Yeah. There are several Asian weapons that feature the half moon blade on it.
yeah.
The Laja Tang has 2 spikes on each end and the blades in the middle. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, Roger, I agree, man. I just don't want to take this back to Shadow Dark all the time. But it's your show,
Sure.
and I'm not saying we shouldn't. So far, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
I kind of blew a gasket on Sunday, and I'm really trying not to do that because, God, I don't want to drive anybody away from the table. I'm really bad about that. I just don't like it when I'm looking at the 3 guys across me and I feel like they're doing the dumbest crap you can possibly do at any given situation. I can
Yeah.
nod and smile for a while, but after 3 hours of it, I have to say something. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll see. I mean, I think it's. Well, I would talk about it. I mean, I think it's a little bit better now with you getting past first level and stuff. Like
Yes.
where it's. I mean, I'm not saying that the group is improved right as a whole, but I mean, like it gets easier to deal with when people aren't, one hit kill type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you could survive like a bad, combat experience, it's better than, being dead or whatever,
And
so
what if you played a game where death was at -10?
Ooh, what game is that, Dan? Are you trying to?
And you still got 3 chances on a D20 that you were very likely going to make one of those rolls.
Yeah. Yeah. Is death is at -10, right? And you go down 1, or I don't remember.
There's
does it
ranges.
start
When
at-
it
it starts like -3 before you start going down automatically.
Yeah,
Like
the
first edition
bleeding
did?
starts at -3 or -4.
Yeah.
At 0, you can be roused with a stiff drink, which I think is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
At -1, I think it's like bandages and time or something like that, and beyond that, you start needing magical healing or whatever. But yeah, the bleed out starts I think at -4, and then it's 1 HP per round till you're.
Yeah, till you're dead. Yeah. That's how it was in 1E, I believe.
Yeah.
I would start the bleeding at -1. I mean, just to put a timer on it,
Yeah. Same.
as soon as you get down there. But that's my personal, thing anyway. But yeah. So yeah. Wow. Talked a lot about weapons and stuff. I know we got off a little bit, but yeah. I think what is this? Obi-Wan off meds. What? Oh boy. Rogers' conversations excite me in all the right ways. There's a private room you and I can hang out. Yeah.
Roger's got a fan.
Oh boy.
What does Obi-Wan have under his robe, I'm wondering?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
Jesus.
a lightsaber, sir.
That's what the boardroom will be for next year. It's staying away.
The
He's
boardroom. Yeah.
excited in the right ways.
Yeah.
For you, Roger.
Must be.
Roger's been
So-
waiting his whole life to hear that one.
Roger's
I have.
blushing
Yeah.
right
That's
now.
true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know what
Totally
else to
threw him
say.
off.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, threw me off.
Yeah.
Trying to go back to weapons after that, and I can't make
Hey,
can't do it without
Quick
making a
question.
staff joke.
question then for the Hyperborea guys.
Yeah.
What are some recommended adventures? The only thing I have is Late Trapper's Lament that came with the 3rd edition.
Late Trapper's Lament's really good for like a level 1 to 2. If you want a quick one shot, like 1 or 2 shot, Rats in the Walls.
The rats in
Yeah,
the walls.
it's-
Yeah.
So I got a question. It's currently out of stock.
Yes,
It's not out of print though, right?
it's not out of print, and actually on
No, he mentioned.
he-
He mentioned
yeah.
a couple times. I think reprinting the stuff that's out of stock.
yeah, he's
there's a
gonna,
bunch of out of stock stuff right
yeah
now.
he's gonna do a new print run. I mean, to be perfectly honest, buy the PDFs and just print them out and spiral bind them.
Yeah.
That's great.
If I was going to, so I thought about running Hyperborea for my group, and I thought about just printing out a player's guide. But at $20 for the 2E player's guide, is there any reason not to get them?
You can totally get them. The only class that's really starkly different is the monk. So if someone decides to play a monk, just make sure you're using the 3E monk.
Everything else is pretty much the same.
Yeah, there's like some minor tweaks and that kind of stuff, but the main class that was different was the monk.
Okay.
So
Well, one thing I'm not doing ever again, I've done this too many times in the past. I'm not buying the books for my group, but
Yeah.
if we're going to do it, I would direct them towards that. And it doesn't matter. I've got two guys that both can print stuff in color at work. I mean, not the color matters because they're all black and white anyways. So I could just have them print me 5 copies of it. I'll bind them for them, and there you go. They all have a copy at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But yeah, the second edition players books, I mean, for $20, they're totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
and there's
I have
only
one.
a second edition screen out there. That was part of why I asked.
Yeah, there's no third
Yeah.
edition specific screen, but the second edition screen
Okay.
pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know why you
the
didn't
main thing
do
that's
that as part
different
of the Kickstarter.
because the main thing that's different in that would be on the screen is the encumbrance rules, because the encumbrance rules in 2E had more detail to them, and he streamlined it in 3E.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's why
By quite
he
a bit.
had to, but yeah, but like that's the main thing that's different
Is
on
it
the screen.
Better in 2E or 3E?
2E has a bit more detail to it. 3E is large. The encumbrance system in 3E is your
Very
movement
hand
speed
wavy.
is based on your armor. So light is 40 feet, medium is 30 with 1 damage reduction, and heavy is 20 feet with 2 damage reduction. And then it basically says, you're the referee, use your best judgment.
Yeah.
Here's the kind of general, if they're heavily encumbered, it's like -1 to dex tests and -1 to AC. And if they're like,
Yeah, but
very
there's no
heavily,
there's no
but there's
chart
no
for that.
scale. Right.
It's right. Yeah, there's no
Right.
scale for that. It just says, the GM decides.
Right.
Okay.
It's very hand wavy.
So if they're trying to walk around with 19 weapons on them, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if they're like, I grabbed the 55-gallon barrel of alcohol. No, you don't, because that's like 500 pounds. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dreg, has anyone ever described their arms and armor? So that's something that Jason does all the time, or like, it's interesting. Like, and we talked about this earlier, where, players just, they scan the book, or some players, right? They scan the book and they're looking for the D12, right? They want the weapon that does the D12 damage, or, oh, that's 3D6. Oh yeah, that's high. That's higher than these other numbers. Like that's the weapon I want. Right. But like with Jason, it's interesting. Like I'll throw out, like, sometimes, there'll be like a long sword or something. Right. But if they're in like, if it's a short sword, for example, and they're in like a cult heavy like area or something, like I might make it like a Chris, or like a ceremonial kind of thing, or or like a long sword that's got like gems in the pommel or something like that. And like Jason eats that stuff up. He's like, oh, this is cool. I'm walking, this is gonna be my new sword. Whereas the other guys are like, they're trying to figure out like, oh, how much more gold is that worth? Like that's all they care about is the bottom line at the end of the day.
Yeah, my soldier with his longsword that has a gem in the back, or a gem in the pommel.
Yeah.
I think it was a fire rope or something like that, and I was like, oh my god, okay, how much is this sword worth? And I was like, I think you said 50 gold, and I looked at
50 gold, yeah.
Can I give you guys 50 gold to let me keep the sword? And they're all like, sure, whatever. Yeah. For me, I spent a lot of time in Europe. I got really lucky with that. And while I was there, I went to a lot of museums. If there's a military museum anywhere near where I'm traveling, I go to it. So I have seen some of those beautiful arms and armor from dark all the way up to Renaissance period. I've got tons of books on my shelf behind me from all the museums I've gone to, and I'll look through them and I'm like, I want this sword. Who was it? Chance, I think, was talking about the Estoc earlier. That's how I knew what an Estoc was, because I've seen it and I was like, the one that I saw was for a king in Belgium, and it was the most beautiful weapon I have ever seen in my life. The entire blade is covered in engraving and scroll work. The pommel, it had a wire hilt with a cross guard, and I was like, I just stood there drooling on the case this thing's in. And this thing was made in like 1600 by a guy with a hammer. Good Lord.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I think about the stuff that I've seen, like, oh, that's awesome. My first level character is not going to have that. He's going to have the long sword that Joe the weaponsmith in the town made. That's what he's got. But once I start getting money, like I start having all my stuff, special designed and all that, so I can just sit there and look at it and be like, oh, that guy has. So there you go. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that some people are into that, and others they just they want the number on the on the sheet. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a difference of like role playing versus role playing, right?
Yeah,
role ROLE versus role ROLL. Type of thing where it's not like the best thing or it doesn't matter. Like what level or whatever, or it's just like no, this is cool. I want to have it. So my character.
I'm not going to stick to that to the point where it becomes a detriment to the party. If I find a
Sure.
+3 longsword, this beautiful longsword with the fire opals is going to hang on the wall because I'm going to be using that +3 sword. Of course.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
I really like to go into detail on what I have.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's cool, and I know that you've done that like for like armor and stuff. Like once you've been able to afford it, like you've with some characters, like you've gone
When
a
we
little
were
bit
playing
extra. And say,
CNC,
hey, I want to do extra. Yeah.
That was because we were making we rated a frost giant layer. Good lord.
Yeah.
Man, we made out with
It was like 80,000 gold or something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna have masterwork armor made. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And you like designed it and everything, and
Yeah.
filigree and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's definitely cool.
With this, with
No,
the holy symbol of Belanos on it. That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
No, it's cool stuff, right? Yeah. No, that's definitely awesome. So I definitely like the customized weapon thing and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of like a fighter class or whatever having like the weapon specialization thing. And I forget
weapon focus. Sure.
the weapon focus. And
Yeah.
what was it in CNC where like you pick a weapon, but it has to be that specific weapon? Or is that in another system or whatever?
So, but
where they do that,
doesn't,
and then like you can make it another weapon, but like you got to like train for a day or something or whatever with it or something. But you can say, hey, this is like my special.
The fighter in DCC has that. This is my weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think CNC does that, but I think at later levels you can get another weapon.
Yeah, or you could change it or whatever. I think
you can add to
And Hyperborea, like depending if you're a fighter, you can start. I think it's 2, isn't it, Dan? You have.
Yeah, but that's not a specific weapon. It's a specific type. It's like a longsword, and then you can use.
In Hyperborea, weapon specialization is pick a weapon, and then most of the fighter-based classes get an additional weapon mastery or weapon specialization at 4 and 8. But
in
fighters
CNC,
themselves can go to Grandmaster level with a specific weapon and get even more attacks and more damage.
Right, but when you say specific weapon, you mean like a longsword. Like any longsword. They can pick up any longsword and do it.
Right.
What I'm talking about is
like this specific longsword, like Arc Fire the Burning or something.
This longsword's name is Clarice, and I get an extra +1 with her, even though she's like a normal longsword. You know what I mean, or whatever. It's like I get a bonus because this is my,
CNC doesn't do that
type of thing. It doesn't. I thought it did.
No, it's just you pick a longsword and you're specialized with it.
I thought it did.
You're specialized with any
arms and armor. Does it? Does it? I was unaware that CNC had anything called arms and armor. No.
They actually have about 3 different versions of it, all with different titles. And
do they? Yeah.
Can you guys hear the dog barking?
Yeah,
I closed the door. I went out there and she's all alone out there, and I closed the door and now she's barking. So I'm gonna
let her in.
Yeah, I had to open my door, let the cat in because she was going crazy outside.
Yeah.
So.
The problem letting her back here, I 3D print back here, so it's always a mess back there. It's only she's managed to find desiccant packs before. I caught her chewing on them. That's a big no.
Yeah, that's no good.
So I try not to let her back here. I have a gate up so she can't come back, and she's upset because she's out there alone. But she'll stop barking in a second. If she keeps going, I'll keep it muted.
Yeah, before my doctor. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Obi-Wan's better off on meds. I don't know. Yeah. So it's just you know interesting to have like a named weapon, and maybe that was from somewhere else. That I saw that where it was a specific named thing, and then you can change it.
I don't recall
remember.
seeing it in a game system, but I would like
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
one of my favorite episodes of Firefly is when I just forgot the character's name, but his gun's name was Vera, and Mal accidentally gets married, and whatever the hell his name is, Jane. Jane wants Mal's wife, and he walks up to him in the hallway, and he says, and it looks like he's about to shoot him. And he says, "This is Vera. She is my very favorite gun." And I was like, yes. That's so cool.
Drag, I'm sorry, but we really can't refer to TLG books as great here.
Also, Drag, I just showed that.
I mean, well, he showed the
weapons,
the World Builders, book there, which isn't bad. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that's decent. We figured that. We figured that you were either having fun or actually off your meds. So,
Edgelord nailed it. If you had said that, I would have laughed out loud. Yeah. I'm not the Roger you're looking for. That would have been.
I'm not the Roger.
Flawless.
I should have. I should have. So yeah. Yeah, AD&D 1E or Hyperborea. Yeah.
Much better choices.
Yeah. So some of the Troller books are good. Yeah, no, I know. And they mean well, and I like those guys. Those guys are great. I do like CNC as a system. Like my big issue with CNC is the editing and that sort of thing, and then especially with the transition to the Reforged,
it feels like a 20-year beta test.
It's really been and so that's a big thing. And then when they like repackage and resell books, consistently, it's really annoying. So but the system I think is fine. I think it starts to fall apart after like 10th level. I've said that before. I think that's not an issue specifically with CNC.
No, I think that's most games.
System.
It's most games.
Yeah, well, most games too, right? Yeah, but like the D20 system, like definitely falls apart after 10th level. I think
Siege really falls apart though.
Siege does too,
yes,
but it's for the same reason. You're rolling a D20 and adding a number, and then trying to go against another number, and
it's the adding your level to it. The adding the level messes it up. It really does it.
Right. So that's kind of where that, and I understand why they did that. You know what I mean? It makes sense, like on paper, like looking at it. Like if you didn't add the level, you wouldn't get better at stuff, and things wouldn't get harder. But if you don't add either level, I think it works.
The problem is when you make one mechanic like that, the identity of your game, there's no going back. Sure. You can't throw it out. 20 years later, we're still
Siege.
We're still using it. We can't throw it out because that's how that's their identity.
That's the core of the game. Right. Absolutely.
Well, and in the first few printings, where the player's handbook for CNC only went up to level 12, and 13 through 24 were in the Castle Keeper's Guide, and they were safely hidden away, it was fine. Once they moved all that into the player's handbook, then it all went to hell.
Agreed. But so like that was really my only issue with CNC, and that and like the editing and stuff like that. Other than that, like I would maybe run it again. I would say that I definitely would run it again. Last week I would have said I'd run it again. So things this week and things that I said earlier, like it's just I don't know if it's on my list.
One thing I want to touch on, because Greg keeps bringing it up, is about so that book is not a Troll Lord Games book. While it's published by them, it was written by Gary.
Yeah.
And people get this false idea that Gary had something to do with Troll Lord Games and Castles and Crusades. Troll Lord Games gave him an avenue when he got forced away from TSR. They gave him an avenue to publish his stuff, and he used their setting. But he didn't write Castles and Crusades. People seem to think he had this big hand in it. He didn't. He published stuff for it. So when you look at that book and say it's a great book, maybe I don't have it, but it's Gary's book, and that's different than Steve's book.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
I've read Steve's book. I've read the book that Steve wrote. Yeah.
If you want to go to sleep.
No, not that one. Not that one. Well, I mean the one that Steve wrote all by himself that got published, which is the Game Master's Tips and Tricks or whatever, Steven Chenault's Game Master book or whatever. I don't know. Which is a collection of basically it's like a long conversation with Steve about how to run a game.
Yeah,
that's
when you open
way it's written.
When I open this book to the table of contents and I see first oration, second oration, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, first narrative, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's like, oh my god, I'm already ready to fall asleep.
Yeah. It is worthy to note since we mentioned CNC, they do have a new developer that's handling the Foundry system. I don't know if you guys
know that guy.
That. Yeah. I've heard of it.
That's this guy over here, Dan.
That's me.
Dan, he's handling all of that. Yeah, there you go. Stan.
It works.
Yeah,
it works real good now. If you want to play CNC on Foundry.
So, is it just the core books, or is there more that's there?
So I updated the main Foundry system to support Foundry 13 and 14 because it hadn't been touched in like 2 years and it was breaking. I recovered I took all the paid modules. So that's the S2 Adventure, the Castle Keeper's Guide, the Monsters and Treasure, and the Player's Handbook. And I took basically decompiled the compiled versions of them because there was no source code left behind by the previous developers. So I remade all the source code and I recompiled those to work with 13 and 14 because the module packaging is a bit different in Foundry. And I need to talk to Chuck. I'm actually talking to him tomorrow. The next thing he wants to do is Adventures Backpack and eventually Adventures Spellbook. So get those as modules as well.
And is that all reforged?
Yeah, it's all reforged, all un-OGL'd. So
cool.
Monsters have level instead of hit dice, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool.
So, but yeah, that's all done.
Best of luck with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
So,
I still have to laugh when people talk about Reforged. And they're like, "It was absolutely necessary." Okay, you say so.
I really think that they made a bad move and they should have done it when they rolled out with the 10th edition and or even earlier. But
there's no ever going back with them. All of us that were like long-term CNC players told them it was a bad idea, and they went ahead anyways. Oh, we have to do this. You don't. I mean, by the time they even started writing it, the OGL thing had kind of, I don't want to say resolved itself, but it had.
Well, they had
already backed down, and
But that was the thing. I don't know, and we could talk about this forever. But like that was the thing. Like for me, like that was the line for me was like. I mean, I was done with a lot of WotC stuff up until that point.
But did you really need to rename every spell and rename?
No,
not every spell, but lots of them.
Not at
all.
all.
A lot of them don't make sense at all either.
Right? No, I agree, and we've talked about this. I agree. They went way too far with it, and now there's no going back.
Yeah, you could definitely tell when they did their Reforged that they were less certain about what things were trapped in copyright or trademark jail.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Osric or Osric 3 in particular, it's pretty clear, which spells they had to rename and which monsters they had to recreate or rename because they're in trademark jail. So
I mean, spell wise, what's really in trademark jail other than named spells.
It's the name spells, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
and Matt
That
Finch
should
has
be
said-
obvious.
Yeah,
I mean-
Matt Finch has said in a couple interviews, like the name Magic Missile isn't trademarked, but if you
Right.
take Magic Missile plus the exact rules text, then it is.
Right.
So there's like
Right.
with so I kind of get it. Just changing the name basically gets you out of that, but it does like when
Right,
you're
but I
playing
mean-
Castles and Crusades. You
Yeah,
look at
but-
those spells
but-
and you're
but
like,
you know
which
what?
one's that?
But-
Magic Missile and Mage's Missile is fine. I'm okay with that change because it makes sense.
Right, or
Right.
Arcane Missile. Yeah,
Right. Like it makes sense. My issue was they what are the spiders that can teleport?
Phase Spiders.
Phase
Phase
spiders.
spider.
Okay, so phase spiders, right? What did they change that to?
Wasn't
They
isn't
changed
Void
it
Spider?
to void spider.
Void Spiders. Yeah,
Because phase was the problematic word. Now, displacer beast. What word did they change?
was it Phase Beast?
No,
No.
they didn't change the word displacer.
Oh,
they
they didn't?
changed it from displacer beast to displacer cat.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And so it's not uniform the way they did that stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was like where I had like issues with it.
And
Where
was
it's like-
Displacer Beast even a TSR
No.
copywritten or a WotC copy?
Well,
I mean,
again, like Dan said, if you have displacer beast with the exact same stats and the same stat block, like then that they got a leg to stand on. But
well, did they change? I know they redid how spell descriptions were, but
Yeah,
did
right,
they
they
actually
did all
change
that.
the descriptions? Because they literally copied and pasted from third edition. So they if that's the case, they would have had to redo every one of them then.
Right. The monsters that are in trademark jail are the Beholder, obviously.
Yep.
Yep.
The Goth, Carrion Crawler, Displacer Beast, Gith Yankee, Gith Zerai, Mind Flayer / Illithid, the Slod or Slade, however you say it, Umber Hulk,
Slod,
and the
yeah.
Wanti.
yeah, but look at people look at Adventures Dark and Deep.
Yeah.
He's got beholders in there,
Sure does.
and they've never touched him. And I think, in the way copyright law works, like if they go after somebody else for using the word beholder,
Hmm.
they could point and say, "This guy's been using, the word beholder for
A million
years, and
Yeah.
they never went after him."
Yep.
So, I don't know,
Yeah, it's weird.
but that's
It depends because like this is a little off topic, but like EverQuest, they've got emulated servers out there and they've been using them for years, and they've
Yeah.
turned a blind eye to it, allowed them to function. But when a group just came in last year and totally revamped the game, changed how the whole game
Yeah.
worked using their engine, and then monetized it, they went after them, and they lost in court. And they tried to say, hey, well, fair use policy, you've allowed them to do it for years. And they turned around and said, we've actually contacted them. They've agreed to not do this, this, and this. They cannot monetize, they cannot whatever. And as long as they stick with the original stuff and don't step on our toes, they're okay.
Mhm.
So
I think
they could eventually turn around to somebody like Joe and say, you could try the fair use, but they could say, well, you're making money off of our product. And I don't
think
know.
to what you said, Mike. I mean, Joe just put out a thing because he was trying to do the whole ADD engine thing, and basically him and his attorneys were like, he's working on something, but like the way he can't do it, like because it's when he isn't,
Right.
licensed
Yeah.
out. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
basically what he's using. So he came out and said, he had a update on his Facebook page for that stuff, and basically said, yeah, we can't do it. Like we're working on something else, but like we can't do it the way we wanted to do it because of that very reason. And I think,
Yeah.
like when I talked to him at CNY, he said something about like basically like, they haven't messed with me. Because I was telling him how much I like.
That's what he told me too.
And he's like, yeah, and they haven't messed with me. So,
Yeah.
He knows he's technically in probably violation, but they haven't,
Right.
haven't done anything about it. But I think if he started putting out this engine thing that was really like their
Right.
stuff as far as
Mhm.
like intellectual property, that might draw him some. And I think that must have been what happened, was because his attorneys are telling him.
Well,
"No, you
because
can't
now
do
it's
it."
not a fan. It's not a fan recreation of
Right.
the game, but it's like it's him
And
monetizing.
you're also like
Yeah.
putting it out to even more people as far as like for a way for
Right.
them to make money.
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
probably
Now
would
he's
go,
monetizing people to sell the 1E engine to people to make their stuff or whatever, which is
yeah. So
yeah.
I do
which I mean,
think,
it's unfortunate they've never licensed it.
well,
WotC has never
and
licensed it
and
because
I
there'd
can
be a
see
market
that.
for it.
That's what I was going to get at. I can see a future where I could have seen this in the past, but I could see a
Right.
future with them now where they decide, hey, you know what? Because like, I mean, they can say 5.5 is doing great and everything, but it doesn't seem that way to most people.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks like their sales numbers are way down. A lot of people have left them. The smart play for them could be in the future to turn around and license.
You
I
know,
mean, they did it in 3E times with settings,
did.
like with Ravenloft and other things.
I think they're going to announce stuff like that at Gen Con this year.
Yeah,
I
can
love
see them
I love
licensing
the idea, and I don't know if they would go this route or not, but I like the licensing model that the Unreal Engine has, where basically you can use it for free until you bring in like a certain you hit
X
a
dollars.
threshold of profit. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you start bringing in X amount of dollars, hey, you got to give us X amount of money. But like if you just make stuff and it's not making money and all that stuff, use the engine and spread it. You know what I mean? And it's basically free. They only get a kickback if you start making money, and I think that would be fantastic to do
I
with
think
D&D.
Unity.
That's what they tried to do with 5e when they first dropped. When they tried to update the OGL.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well,
they were
yeah.
like, everybody can use this, but if you're going to make money, we want 25%.
They actually tried with 5e originally to start with that because they did license out
right.
the first adventure there. What was it? Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Mhm.
I mean, that's Cobalt Press.
Yeah.
And then they seemed to get away with it and go back to all in house, and everything really took a downturn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, they're just a crappy company, though. That they don't treat their employees very well, and they're one of those ones where, hey, we'll hire you, Roger, to write this book, and as soon as it's ready to publish, it's time to lay you off.
Well, because they know that I'm not going to do anything. You know what I mean? Or as soon as it gets published out there, I'm going to be hanging around collecting a check while they wait and see what they want me to do next. So
it would be great to see them open up the license and say, hey, you want to publish AD&D, you're going to license it from us.
Sure.
You want to publish third edition, you're going to license it from us. And that gives options to people that are still playing these games.
No, that'd be awesome if they would do that. But they didn't.
They don't treat it very well with their print on demand versions.
One thing that we didn't cover earlier is we didn't talk about gaming in the last week. Really, we didn't talk about Sunday game or anything like that. So I mean, if we don't have anything else with like weapons or anything like that, it seems like we're straying. We're almost at the 3-hour mark. But I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. We had my normal Sunday game, Shadow Dark. I think it went really well. Yeah, they'll sick the Pinkertons on you. Yeah. Not over here, they won't. Well, maybe, but I think they'll have a hard time over here. Yeah, did Sunday game. That was fun. Saturday, I was in one of Chubby's games doing the Forbidden North stuff. That was interesting. Almost got killed, but didn't. Well, not almost. I guess I was pretty careful, but it looked like we were gonna have a TPK for a few minutes there. But that was a good time. That was online. It's all on. That was on Roll20. He uses Roll20 for that, and then on was it yesterday? Jesus, yeah, yesterday, Monday. I was in. I jumped on the Barrows and Borderlands server, and I noticed that Matt had posted a game, and I messaged him about it and said, "Hey, I want to jump into this thing." So I got to play B&B with with Matt last night for a
Nice.
few hours, and we did some weird. It was George Washington sent us on a mission in 1776 to go find some missing natives or missing colony or something, and they haven't heard back from this fort. So that was interesting. But we go to this fort, we find out there's a bunch of undead and stuff, and lo and behold, there's a vampire behind the whole thing. And so I basically told Matt, I was like, 100% of the games of yours that I've been in have been a vampire.
Matt likes vampires.
Well, I've only been in 2 of his games. I did Dracula in Space, which obviously there's vampires. And then I did this and there's vampires. And I was like, Matt, what's up with this? So, but yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. It was a good time. I was in that game. I was rolling about as well as Jason does in a normal game. It was bad, dude. I couldn't roll over a 5. I was rolling like 3, 4, 5 to hit. Out of D20 like every single time. I got like one good hit in. Got one good shot in, like the first shot with my musket, and it was a D12, and I had 12 damage, and it was awesome. And then after that, it was like, no, forget it. Just wasn't happening. So
Just dropping musket balls all over the floor trying to.
Oh, it's terrible. And I was using a long sword afterwards, like because a musket, it takes 3 rounds to reload. So it was like, I can't do this. We found a long sword off of some buried Vikings. Matt's games are weird. So I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. I'm a fighter type. I got a +1 strength bonus here. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I got a long sword. This is good. So yeah, so good time. No, that was really exciting. So fun time. So that's gaming I did. I think Sunday went well. I know I mentioned that, but I don't know. I'm sure Jason will touch on it. But we had fun. We finished up one kind of module dungeon kind of thing that I had, and then went into another one that sort of came up because of the carousing rolls. So it was kind of interesting. But we got about maybe, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through that before we called it, and we'll pick that up, next week. But you got anything to add to that, Jason, on Sunday's game?
You talked about dice rolls. I got rid of my Chessex dice. I've got a really nice set of brass dice, and those things were rolling like gold for me this Sunday. I didn't hit every time, but my character didn't look wholly incompetent either. And that's all I really want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
One thing happened that kind of bugged me. That I didn't talk about. We heard there was a troll further in that part of the dungeon.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I asked, do we know what trolls are? Do we know they're susceptible to fire or acid? That's, of course, everybody that plays Dungeons and Dragons knows that trolls regenerate unless you hit them with fire acid.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. But that doesn't mean that the person living in this world who has never seen a troll before knows what that does. So it kind of bugs me when the player's like, "Oh, let's just go get some fire."
And
on
the list of episodes that I have for this, one of the discussions I want to have is player versus character knowledge and that sort of thing. Because I think that's how Gary would run it. Was like it was more about player knowledge and not
player knowledge, absolutely.
So
in the case of trolls,
use player knowledge. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
In AD&D 1E, absolutely.
Well, then there will be no secrets to any of the other players at the table because I know all the monsters. Now,
I know.
That leads to something that Stan does. Stan throws curveballs at his guys. Yes, it's a troll. He's totally immune to fire. How do you like that?
Sure. Yeah.
But, I've always tried really hard not to be like, oh,
right.
This is a ghost. We have to have a +1 magic weapon in order to hit it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, there's some people that advocate like players reading the monster manual, which I think is the dumbest advice you could.
Yeah,
give
that's
to
weird.
Why would you do
anybody.
that?
It's so
I
you're an
used to
idiot,
keep notes
and,
when I was
that's the
when I
advice
was
you give.
when I was playing Yohai. Every time we encountered, nobody cares about orcs and all that shit. They're humanoids. You stab them, they die. But if it was like an oddball monster, I would take notes. This is how we killed it. In fact, it was part of his canon. He had his Bible with him, and the back half of that was all his adventure notes about everything we encountered, what we did, who we were talking to, what they said. And I really like that. A lot of players don't, and that's fine. But if the DM says you guys all know what the trolls are, or if the DM tells me if you know it, your character knows it. Okay, cool. If that's what we're doing, okay, sure.
My personal kind of like cutoff for that is if there's like lore that would reasonably be told as like a bedtime story to scare a kid, like
sure,
like that's fine. Like, and I think a troll being damaged by fire probably falls into that category. Dragons being scary and going to eat you probably falls into that category, right? But
yeah,
like I had a player one time, I threw a Bahir at them, and he was like on Roll20, he was like making sure to move and not be in line with anybody else because he went and looked it up and knew that it had lightning in the line. And then when I noticed what he's doing, I'm like, surprise, motherfucker, this one's got a cone attack. So
yeah, that's what I would do.
I do have to go. So Roger,
hey
guys,
Dan, thanks for popping
great.
in to show off some cool stuff.
Thanks, Dan.
Have a good night, guys.
And your 12-pound helm of protection there.
Working out the neck muscles.
My neck hurts already just looking at it.
And I got a new one to add to it too. So
nice. Nice.
Later, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan.
Stan, how about you? You do some gaming this week?
Yeah, I did. Thursday night, my son ran his Dragon Slayer game, so we played that. It was the 5th session of that campaign that he's running. Went really well. We did lose our trusty NPC, which was a bummer at the end, but that was a good time. And then Sunday, I ran my 89th session of Castles and Crusades. Actually, it's
89.
technically more than that. It's actually 91, but like those were kind of outlier sessions, so like they don't get counted in the rhythm of it.
Okay, they don't count as real.
So they're not real.
I've never thought about like counting sessions. Like, I mean, I kind of.
I keep track.
Sometimes I start doing that, but I don't like it. Doesn't phase me. You know.
Matter of fact, my next campaign, I will do that, but I'll also more detailed notes than I have, just because we're going on year 5, and so sometimes I have to look back at that stuff, to figure out when it happened, and in my titles and stuff, or NPCs lists and stuff, like I don't have like which session that they came in, so I'm looking at 89 entries and I'm like, shit, where's that? So I have to dig around for a bit. So my next campaign, I will add more notes to that stuff.
Yeah,
specifically to like NPCs.
That's something where like Obsidian or some like note taking app, even Google Drive, right? If you just do like notes in there that you can search.
I use Microsoft OneNote, so I can search. I mean,
okay,
you can. Use it probably to its fullest ability, and because I'm not that way, but in the next campaign I will be. I mean, that's why I went to video recaps, just because I got tired of spending a day writing them. Even though I liked it just took up a lot of time.
Yeah,
where I can bang out a video in a half hour or so.
Nice.
Good. But we played those 2 games, which was great.
Cool. Yeah, fun times. Mike, you've been you kind of mentioned earlier, right? You're kind of on a hiatus for a little bit, or
no gaming.
No gaming.
Did you guys finish Delta Green, or just stop playing?
No, we finished the adventure, and we needed to take a break for about a month and a half because of some people had things going on. I had graduation party, in-laws staying, just a lot of stuff going on. So we took the break. They actually, one of them asked me this week, like, "Hey, do we have a date to start again?" I'm like, "Nope." It's going to be probably fall before I'm a little, I don't know. I don't want to say burnt out. I'm just bored. Bored. I don't know what it is. I mean, I go through this once in a great while. It's been a long time since it's been like this, but I am just bored. I don't want to play.
Well,
Um,
I mean, if you ever get the bug back before the thing starts, I've said it. If you're welcome to come out.
I know. I'll be honest. It depends. Like I sit on these streams with you guys and talk about it, and it gets me in the mood. I'm kind of in the mood to look at Hyperborea a little bit and whatnot. Tomorrow, I got to go into Auburn, where I used to live, to do a few things, and I'm meeting one of my old players, another DM. He's the guy that we split off, and he's running a group, and I'm running a group.
Yeah.
And he wants to merge back together and wants to play. And he wants me to DM. And I'm meeting him for breakfast tomorrow. We're going to sit and talk a little bit.
Cool.
I may join his game for a little bit and just
Yeah.
play and just take that break and just play for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be back into it at some point, but right now I'm just kind of burnt out.
Well, I guess anytime. I mean, we could drop you in as, any NPC shows up and here you are, and you know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
The nice thing is that for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but business picked up again in July. So I've been getting orders every day.
Cool.
So that's keeping me a little busy.
Nice.
All my printers are going. Last time I stepped away from the computer for 5 minutes was because I had to go take prints off there and start some more. Because I got 2 orders last night. One of them's already shipped. The other one's boxed and ready to go. And I got 2 more orders today, and they're printing now. So.
Edgelord must have heard your printer stop on stream, because he made a comment right when you got up. He was like, "Wait, was that your printer or mine?"
Yeah, no, that was mine.
And then he checked his, and he said, "No, mine's still going." So, cool. Frostgrave scheduled for tomorrow. The fun time.
Yeah, and as you can see behind me, those 3 bins are all my Mario Kart stuff.
Yeah, nice.
I had to get them off the table because they were taking up space, and there they sit unopened. I haven't done anything else with it in the last 2 weeks. It was just part of, like, I was going gung-ho on it, thinking I wanted to do it, and then just, I don't know, everything hit. I was kind of busy and things hit, and I just kind of burnt out a little bit, so everything's just put on hold. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I've been doing this since I was like 12 years old, so it's not like I'm gonna just throw it all out and give up.
Thanks for coming, Stephen. Yeah. Well, like I said, you're always welcome at at my table or whatever, or if I'm gonna do any kind of other kind of gaming or whatever, I'll let you know.
You could bring me in as like some big bad to help to TPK your party. I'll have no mercy. I'll have no mercy. You won't.
I've considered doing something like that for like bosses, like for like a dragon fight or something. Like I've always thought that would be cool to bring in somebody else to control the bad guy and say, here you go.
If you're gonna do that though, you got to give them free reign and allow them to play them to its full.
No, that's what I would do. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would do, and just say, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
Like, and I would tell the players ahead of time, look, this is going to be a real fight. It's going to be, manned by somebody, not me. So I'm not going to, nobody's going to pull any punches, So like, fun. I'll be the GM, but have somebody playing the bad guy.
I did that with my daughter. She was like 12 years old or something. And she came down here one night when we had our weekly game. Before she became a teenager and, too shy to come down here at all when everybody's here. Yeah. She sat right at the table and played one of the bad guys one time. And you could tell she was just like, every time she'd roll those dice, she'd get that look like, who am I going to kill?
Yeah.
Nobody died. Nobody died, but it was still, you could see the joy on her face, the chance to.
A friend of mine, Mark, he used to play, and he was in for like the rolling the dice and like playing the game, and like the combat stuff. He was always barbarian, big axe. And I like players would like, and this is what I loved about him. I think I've told a story, maybe on stream. I think I've told it to Jason before, at least. He like wanted a big axe. And he was like, no, I want a great axe. This is what I want, a big 2-headed axe. And there were other guys in the game that were like, no. You want a great sword, because a great sword does 2d6 damage and a great axe does 1d12 damage. So 2d6 is better, right? Like they like try and like explain like the math to him, and all this. And he's like, no, I want a big friggin' axe. I'm like, that's like, that's what I want. Right. And so he would always be like, I want to hit the thing. And the group that he was in was just the group that wanted to go and talk everybody down, and like he was like he'd like be shaking. He'd have the D20 in his hand, like, can I just hit the guy? I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna hit him. And they'd be like, no, we want to talk to him first. And he's like, he's a bad guy. He killed 6 people. We're gonna kill the guy.
We
and
have this,
finally get the.
We had this guy in our group, Elmer, and he's actually in the group with Sean right now. He left when we were going to play Deadlands because he didn't want anything to do with any. He will only play D&D, and he only plays fighters.
Yeah.
At one time, many years ago, I was like,
he should be playing a war game.
I said, Elmer, you're not going to play a fighter. I said, play something different, play something totally out of your wheelhouse, give it a try. So he made a Gnome Illusionist. He made it one session. After that session was done, he like called me, yo, bro, I can't do it. If you're not gonna let me play a fighter, I don't want to play. He's that guy. That's all he does is play a fighter. And and I've got players that come to me and they're frustrated because they're like, dude, all he does is want to charge into combat, no matter what. There's times when you got to be more tactical, and he just charges in, and I'm like, I don't let him charge in. If he dies, he dies. And he's died more than anybody ever in my games because he just that guy. He's got to rush in and do everything.
Yeah,
crazy.
we've had guys like that. You think they'd learn after a bit, but he'd write that. He'd go from the second to the third to the, the cousin.
He's gotten upset too, people, because they didn't chase him into combat before. Like he's done some really stupid stuff, and some of the players have been like, "I'm not rushing in there," and then he gets mad about it, and it's like, dude, I mean, if people come here to play the game, they don't want to die. They don't want to needlessly run in and get themselves killed, which is what he's doing. But some people are like that. That's it. I just want to roll dice, bro. I just want to roll dice.
Maybe we'll talk about. We'll do an episode. We'll talk about like domain play and people playing monsters and characters and players controlling NPCs and things like that.
I don't have much to say about domain play. My guy's never really gotten into it.
Well, I mean, like the whole, like we can cover the whole thing of like having, players or people come in and play monsters or what I mean, or control monsters, things like that. I don't know. Maybe that's a shorter episode. I don't know. Who knows? But gaming wise, Jason, you got anything to add? Gaming?
No.
Just Sunday, yeah.
Just Sunday, man. Sunday is unfortunately my only group. The rest of the time, I'm working or playing video games.
Yeah.
Or learning how to weave.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What are you making on the weave? This probably isn't the. Welcome to our new show.
Nothing. I have the loom.
I mean, what's the plan? Like, you're gonna make a rug or like a mural or something?
A while back, I made a bookshelf out of beautiful cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it sits directly in the sun, and I'm worried that the lacquer on the top is going to start fading or peeling, God forbid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make some kind of cover for that. That's my first thing that I'm going to make.
Okay.
The next thing I'm going to make is something for my mom. Give that to her for Mother's Day.
Yeah. Cool.
And then really just whatever comes to mind. I just want to keep busy. So
yeah. Cool. Good times. Yeah. So what else? You guys got anything else on I don't know, weapons?
I have thoroughly enjoyed tonight's podcast.
20.
Even
that's the number, folks. 20. When I was wrong about Halberds. 20 to 30. That's the number.
Of weapons?
Yeah.
There's a question there for Stan.
What's that? Ave Nox.
No, I'm playing an a campaign using Ave Nox, a Dragonbane campaign. Matter of fact, we're playing not this Saturday, next Saturday. It's awesome. Probably one of the best mega dungeons. System neutral, and it's not just kicking one door after another. There's tons of stuff going on. And
cool.
Interesting, weird. You got to learn about the history of the place and the different factions and just the oddness of it. It's really good. Really good. I can't wait. So I missed last month, so 'cause I was doing something. I don't remember what. It was just everybody was busy. I don't think we played at all. So
Maybe that's what I should do with Shadow Dark is run a mega dungeon. Like, I mean, that seems to be like the best kind of thing that it's designed to do. I mean, it's designed to.
it's a dungeon
play
crawler
Dungeon crawl, yeah.
right now,
You know,
anyway, without
so.
Western Reaches. I mean,
Well,
other
right,
people,
right.
Do other stuff with it. But
Yeah.
At its core, that's what it's designed to do.
I mean, I do wilderness stuff and all that, but for the most part, it's
Yeah.
wilderness to get to a dungeon. But so yeah, so cool. All right, well, I guess that's it. Guys, don't forget, please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and support Emperor's Choice, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
That'll
Good
be
night.
next Tuesday. Yeah.
See y'all.
Thanks,
See ya.
everybody. Take care. Oh yeah, there's Hashi. I don't know how to say that. That's Agile's son. Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll see ya.